Shout out to my stay one over here rocking out with us ASAP. My brother AJ definitely in the building.
Never talking to me like that again, you hear me? Huh?
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Say good night to the bad guy. Say good night to the bad guy. Say good night to the bad guy.
You already know what it is. Let's go, let's go. We weren't going to do a show today. Biggs in the building. Share the show, people. Share the show. Let's go, let's go. Share the show. TikTok, tap that screen. Tap that screen, TikTok.
You come at the king, you best not miss.
Red Cam definitely in the building. Let's go. Share the show. Share the show. Yo.
Like, you hear me? Huh?
Shout out to Nate over here. Is that my day one? That's close enough. That's one of my close to day ones. Right? Out to my people who always be saving the day. That Lawless saving the day over here. Yvonne saving the day. Listen, we weren't going to have a show today because I already have long form content from some of our hottest shows that I need to get to you guys. And, you know, there's been a lot going on. I got to turn this fan off. We're picking up background noise, even though I'm going to be a little bit warm. But it's not my show. It's my people's show. Listen, I was really thinking about yesterday's show. Manuel in the building, rocking out with us. I was thinking about yesterday's show, and it caused so many experiences to flood in and give me understanding of what we've been dealing with for existential amount of time. We can't get our women back under control because they found things. See, we used to be able to shame people and make them feel like, oh, you're not a lady, things like that. And that was the ultimate disrespect that you could pay to someone, that they're not a lady, because a lady, since the beginning of time, has been held at such high esteem. She's remarkable, right? She's very valuable. So anything being disassociated with that, that was like an insult, right? But how can you shame people who no longer even desire to be valuable entities? No, I'm a bad bitch. See, that's what happened. I'm going to tell you, you want to see a woman capable of some really bad things? Show me a single woman. They must be monitored. Are some women capable of just being amazing women and nice women? Yes. But it's not the vast majority. What we're seeing in today's society is women who don't have someone regulating their emotions and helping them through life, they tend to be the ones who are squirting those little Hershey Kiss bastard children out into society. So me and you have to go get a permit later on to defend ourselves when we encounter one of these little Hershey Kisses. This is a repetitious cycle that you guys are seeing play out in society. All of you, some of you have had your homes broken into. Some of you have had your cars stolen. Some of you have had your garages broken into. Some of you have been violently assaulted. The odds are significantly high that the people who did it were not raised in a two-parent household. The odds are significantly high. And they have been given assistance by the American government that if we do try to enforce what we believe the right guidelines for a society to live under is, I wish you would, your black ass be in jail. That type stuff. That type stuff. I want to show you guys something that, let me see here. Come on now, come on. Okay. Okay, let me check this out. Let me see something.
I am a stay-at-home dad. In our household, the women are the breadwinners. That's the way we run things here. That's the way we like it to be structured.
Nick is a trophy husband, if you will.
We prefer it.
I am a stay-at-home dad. In our household, the women are the breadwinners. That's the way we run things here.
Listen, I run businesses, people, and business is so hard. That's why I laugh when I see people's profile picture on social media says entrepreneur. I laugh at that stuff. Yet you have no website link where we can purchase any of your merchandise. Listen, I'm about to drop bombs on you guys. I'm about to drop heavy bombs on you guys. Somebody's, like the phony pastor say, oh, somebody gonna receive a blessing today. I'm just saying. But listen, I'm about to change a lot of your guys' life. Business is so hard. You know, when I was having the toughest time? When I was having the toughest time was when I was being my editor, when I was being my producer, when I was doing all of the technical work, right? When I was being the social media manager. Do you know what changed everything dramatically? When I hired other people to handle positions that were too much for me. Now, I'm going to say something to you guys. Those of you who are stuck inside of this battle between men and women in America, I'm about to make your life easier. But this is only for the humble people. This is not for the people who can't be told anything. This is not for the people who have all of the answers to things, but yet you see them acting a fool on social media. Listen to me. Actually, I'm going to do it like this. I want everybody to tell me what you desire for your life. What is important to you for your life? What is important for your life? Is it family? Is it a wife? What is important to you to life? Somebody tell me. I'm probably not going to give you time enough. But listen, for those of you who want to be homeowners, those of you who want to live the American dream, those of you who want the picket white fence life and the marriage, society has taken some turns that we never saw coming and that we never expected, right? Women became empowered. I'm about to fix everybody's life. If you can't take the ball from here after I give you this information, you know, you probably deserve the sham of a relationship that you're in. Listen, if roles have been, I'm not going to say roles have been reversed, but I'm saying women abandoned their position and they've taken on masculine energies. So long ago were the days where it worked out. And I want you guys to remember, I was talking about business and how difficult business is until somebody came in and started doing certain tough things for me, right? I want to tell you guys how you can have the American dream. I want to tell you how you can have the American dream today. Those of you ladies who are empowered, you're ambitious, you're driven, and you've gotten a couple of promotions or you're seeking to get some promotions, you can still live a good life, but you can't do it by yourself. If you're winning the bread and things like that, then you're not going to be able to come home and do the other part, because that's what was taking place with our grandmothers and our great-grandmothers and our grandfathers. Duties were being delegated. One person can't, listen, hold on, you know what, let me see something. I'm going to pull this up. So you guys don't think that I'm up here just talking, even though you know me better than that. You know that when we're up here talking, we are not just talking. It is most likely information that has been fact-checked, tried, tested, and proven. You already know me. I'm not going for it. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. Where is it at? Starts with a T. Instagram, if you're not over here on YouTube, you won't be able to see it, but you'll be able to hear it. I keep telling you guys every day at this time, you're better off being over here on YouTube at The Real Stacey Prince, because this is where it goes down. Where's it at? You know what? I'm going to do it like this then. I want you guys to hear this. Where you at? Do it like this then. Is that it? There it is. I want you guys to listen to this.
You can't win a game by yourself. You can't be the
This is Jermaine Dupri, but he's not the only one.
You can't win a game by yourself. You can't be the center and everybody else got a whole team out there. I get it. I understand going independent. But if you're going to be independent, you got to have a team. Mm-hmm. You can't be independent and it just be you and your homeboy and y'all believe y'all going to win. It's people out here with full teams. Yeah. And you're playing against them. You're not playing against the DSP. I think that's what, these people have it confused. You're going up against somebody who has a full team. Drake has a full team around him. Kendrick Lamar has a full team on the field. You walk out there with you and your homeboy, you're going to get your ass beat. That's what I'm talking about. Bad.
That's what's happening in the African-American community economically. We are competing against people who are operating as teams, and we're operating as individuals. We have women saying, I don't need a man. Yet other women, they aren't saying that. They're saying, praise God that my man pays 50% of the bills because I don't have to blow my entire check. Some of my check, I can pay my portion of the bills, and the other, I'm able to put up in my savings. So I'm saving money. Versus a lot of you who are talking about you don't need a man, your entire checks are going to your bills. It's called living paycheck to paycheck for a reason.
Bad. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. And people don't view it like that. They think that this is just the music business. If they get a record to Sway, yeah, Sway will play it. Mm-hmm. But then Sway's going to have somebody else that come the next day that got a team. Yeah. That's telling Sway to play it. They hitting Heather. They hitting everybody in this room. Right? That's 5 more times than what y'all just did when y'all.
I'm not going to say women who don't have a man, or at least aren't adamant about getting their man, or losers, but I think there's something wrong with them. I think women who are single and aren't adamant about doing something about it, I think they have mental illness. I think they're dangerous to deal with. Any woman who is not adamant about getting her a significant other, and I don't even care if she's rich, any woman who is not adamant about obtaining her a significant other, there's things wrong with her so badly to where if you did latch on to her, you wouldn't be able to deal with her, or else she would have the sense enough to know how much smoother life is when you have a significant other.
Came. Mm-hmm. And you can't win the game without a team. You know what I mean? You got to have a quarterback. You got to have a center. Yeah. You got to have somebody go out there, wide receivers. You got to have that.
You got to have some blockers, too.
Yeah, you got to have some blockers.
Oh, my gosh. What did I do? Okay, take that and do this. I want to show you guys something else. I'm telling you, I have a very low level of respect for women who don't see the significance in having a man. Like, to me, those are women you shouldn't deal with. Any woman who does not know two heads are better than one, man, you're going to have a tough time dealing with her. If you even have to convince a woman that that's the best move to make, you don't want to deal with her, because a woman like that who has a mentality, who doesn't understand the significance of how much more you can expedite whatever it is that your goal in life is, or the life that you want out of life. Anyone who doesn't know how significantly you can expedite reaching that goal post with a partner, their thinking is thwarted. Their thinking is thwarted. And they're probably not somebody you should deal with. Let me try this. Okay, now I'm going to try this.
Anybody in this room right now can blow up on TikTok if they was consistent.
Do you feel like if you were to start from scratch, could you
TikTok every day, every single you to come up with ideas? But I would definitely talk as anybody in this room right
That's not the one. That's not the one. I'm going to get it. Where's it at? I'm going to get this for you guys, because there's something that's going on in a lot of your guys' head that's causing you to not know that all of the things that we say we want in life, they are actually realistic if you partner up and you get you a partner. Imagine having 2 paychecks instead of 1. Imagine that. Imagine that once your paycheck is exhausted, you guys can live off his for the, like, it's crazy. Not only that, imagine some of the things that you don't know, some of the bad decisions that you make are offset by his ability to make good decisions, or her ability to make better decisions. This is why I tell you guys, it's like you're cooked and the whole world sees it. I'm going to get this. Maybe I'm not. Let me see. Okay, I can't find it. I can't find it. But it isn't even just who is it? There's several other people. There's several other people who talk about how absolutely difficult it is to pull off successful business by yourself. So what do you think about how difficult it probably is to pull off life by itself, even amidst with all of the emotions that are embroiled up in life? This is why I'm telling you, we think you guys are crazy. We think you guys are crazy. But listen, today is not a show. If anybody has any questions, we weren't supposed to be doing a show today, but I just said it will pop up. If anybody has any questions, they can come on up. Michael said, I just went through this. It's crazy. Listen, I'm telling you right now, if you're dealing with a woman who's not openly and adamantly pursuing securing her life partner, her thinking is off, and her thinking will set you back. Anybody who doesn't know that it is more easily achievable to achieve the American dream with a significant other than it is, listen, without a significant other, it's not even likely. It's not even likely. The average white male makes $50,000 a year. Average black man makes around 46 to 48. What do you think you can build with that? You'd better have some darn good investments going on. You'd better have some darn good investments going on. And I think that's what the Scarlet Letter used to say too, like women who had been tainted. Like, I think we would do well to pay attention to the women who are running around here shooting down the notion of marriage, shooting down the notion of needing a man and a relationship and things like that. I think it's a blessing that they're speaking out loud because we can identify them. Once we identify them, that's what I'm telling you. One thing that's good about social media is you can go to a person's page and you can pretty much get a gist of who they are. If you see that type of stuff, the independent woman talk and all of that stuff, you have just caught on to a major red flag. Any person who does not know how significantly beneficial it is to team up with somebody in life, that's a dangerous person, actually. It's actually a dangerous person. Miss Yvonne, how well? Okay, Miss Yvonne is on. Come on up, Miss Yvonne. All you have to do is click that link down in the chat, and I'll bring you up. Click that link that I just put down in the chat. Anybody else have any questions or disagreements with what you know my philosophies to be? Come on up. 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 Get over here. Dating is so easy for me. It's amazingly easy. It's effortless. Because I don't believe when I was really young, I started saying something long before I knew what it meant. I started saying, I'm a realist. Miss Yvonne,
Hello.
tell me how your night is going.
It's relaxing. It's fine. My husband's next to me watching videos on more and stuff. We're just chilling for now.
Good, good. Listen, let me ask you something. How long have you been married?
We are coming up on 16 years, or is it 16 years? 2011, 15 years on July the 11th.
Okay, so you got married around to it. Okay, got you to 2009, something like that. My question to you is this.
2011.
Okay, 11. Okay, my question to you is this: since you've been married, have you yet identified the areas in your life where having a husband makes those areas in your life easier and better?
Yes. See, we are both Marine veterans. We call our marriage a foxhole marriage. And anybody who's not a veteran, what a foxhole is basically a tactic where men on the front lines dig a foxhole for two people and they watch each other's backs. If you've heard the term, I got your six and you got mine, that's literally what you do in a foxhole.
So, what are you in America?
Yes.
So let me ask you this: what do you think with on a scale of 1 to 10, your marriage? In your perception of marriage? How beneficial is marriage on a scale of 1 to 10?
10.
I agree
I
with you.
never saw marriage as a disadvantage. As a matter of fact, I grew up with a two-parent household. I
Okay,
had a father.
so I have a question for you.
So
What do you think about African American women taking on this mindset? I don't need no man. Meanwhile, African American women broke a historical record in leading evictions the last couple of years ago. What we do know is those women who led in getting evicted, I bet you it would have been more difficult for them to get evicted had they had a significant other. So my
it's
question to
true.
you is,
Now,
what do you think about African American women taking on this mentality of persecuting the men, attacking the men, going against the men, unlike any other race is doing? What are your thoughts about that?
it's demonic.
I agree. I agree.
So, and maybe this is I'm 47, so Gen X, and I'm pretty sure you're Gen X too. We were grown up independent, running around with our friends, figuring out how to survive for ourselves. A lot of us
Yeah.
learned how to cook and
Yes.
clean and do jobs at like 10, 12 years old and things like that, right?
100%.
But this is a demonic situation,
I
and I'm
agree.
going to tell you why. Um, If we're going to go back, and I'm also conservative, I'm MAGA all the way. I grew up in a Republican household. So
Gotcha.
that's already a different culture to begin with. But it's demonic because there's always, it even says in Genesis that there will always be enmity
Right.
between men and women because of that spiritual battle, because Satan went to Eve first to separate that unity.
Yep.
That unity being a spiritual one, not just a physical one. It's a spiritual one. So this is a spiritual attack on the family, because if you divide that spirit, neither one prospers.
That's what the Bible says. The Bible says a house divided cannot stand. It can't.
It can't.
Listen,
And
men
this
in the
and
black
this
community,
devil,
is the only community where the men vote one way and the women vote another way. That is insane.
right. And if we're going to get biblical about it, we might as well go back to Deuteronomy 28, because feminism is a form of idolatry.
No doubt about it.
Melanin worship is a form of idolatry. Uh, we're worshiping things that God created and not giving the Lord his due.
I agree.
Black and I'm proud, that's idolatry.
I don't think that's idolatry.
It's not a,
I believe in white
I think
supremacy.
it is.
I don't think there's no issue.
Yes!
I do. What's wrong with
No.
somebody? What's wrong with somebody wanting to champion their race as a superior? Shouldn't we all be striving to be superior, the absolute best we could be? I don't see anything wrong with people saying white supremacy. Now, the only time that it can cross over and be evil is the historical advantages that whites were given over everybody else, and we know how they got those advantages. If you tie those into it, if you tie that into it, it's kind of evil or whatever. But
Yeah.
a white person just saying, "No, I'm hella proud to be white," man, I don't see anything wrong with that. If I had to pay a
No, I'm
monthly
talking about
membership fee. Hold on. If I had to pay a monthly membership fee to be black, mine would be paid in advance. I love black people. I'm intimately in love with black people. Black people are the shit, and the world knows it. Why do you think all eyes are on black people? Why do you think you'll never go to any social media pages and see where a ton of black people are down in the comments on a white post where white people are addressing sensitive matters that are taking place in the white community? You'll never see that. Black people don't care the slightest about what's going on in the Latino community. But if you go to black people, everybody is in black people's business. It's because we are the salt of the earth. We are truly the salt of the earth. We are but 13% of this in population, and yet by white people's metrics, not Africans and not black people, but African Americans are the most influential group of people on the entire planet Earth. We're special. So I don't knock somebody else for saying, proud to be a Mexican.
To me, it's not the issue of being proud of your race, as far as I'm proud of the culture, I'm proud of where we came from, I'm proud of the struggles that we went through, what our ancestors went through for us to get to where we are. That's one thing. The black pride I'm talking about is the pride in the degenerative culture. We take
Okay, but
pride in
hold on.
things.
We can't really even give African Americans credit for that, because you can get on ChatGPT, Grok, or anything. White America designed all of those institutions in order. Listen, they dictate what our music sounds like in white America. If you you can go all over YouTube. You'll see Bobby Shmurda. There is white people who dictate how black people's music turn out, or we won't give you a record deal. Why do you think that Common and Talib Kweli and the brother D1, why do you think that they never got the funding behind their record careers? Because they're speaking positivity. Why do you think Beyonce, who is married, is preaching to women to be single? See,
Right.
there's institutions that are intent. You can do this. You can get on ChatGPT or Grok and you can say, are there institutions in America that receive government funding to thwart the advancement of African Americans? It will give you a long list of all of the institutions.
But we can also make choices to combat that, though.
Okay,
It's
now hold on,
not
hold on.
like it.
Okay, I'm gonna give you that. Now I'm about to. This is gonna be. I wasn't gonna do a show today, but this is gonna be good today. We're gonna. I'm gonna dig in my bag.
You're gonna keep me on, huh?
I'm gonna dig in my bag today. So listen, I want to give you another way of looking at things. Okay, imagine growing up in the wild hundreds, South Side Chicago. Do you believe in the concept of product of your environment?
I do.
Do you believe that children are sponging up information between the ages of 4 and 8?
Yep, it's been scientifically proven.
Imagine a world where you haven't had, we're going to go if we're going to go. Imagine a world where when you got home from school, there was nothing to eat. There's condiments in the refrigerator. But your mom, you tell your mom, and she says, "Okay, baby, I'm gonna get it. I got something I'm working on." And then after that, you're upstairs in your bedroom, and maybe you're going downstairs to get a drink of water, and you see your mom going upstairs with a man, and 2 hours later, you guys have food in the refrigerator. Do you have any clue what growing up in certain elements do to people? See, I used to be really hard on black people because I'm like, listen, I'm driven and ambitious. I'm not, the black people who I'm hard of are black people who won't take advantage of opportunities. Black people who, if you present an opportunity to them, this nigga want to play the video game and all of that. You want to get drunk all of the time. You want to be getting high all day long. You just don't want to get a job. These are the people I have an issue with. But the overwhelming majority of people in the African American community, I want to describe them to you. See, I have really high reading and comprehension skills. I never knew how they were going to play out in my life. I didn't really care about them, right? I can hear words and I know exactly what they mean. I can hear, when I'm around people who are elevated higher than me, I'm getting new data because words that they use, somehow I can comprehend what those words mean. And once I create a definition for those words, it goes into my database. And now, slowly but surely, my articulation and my vocabulary is advancing more and more, right?
That's right.
Now, that's mine's, right? What about that person who grew up in a sense of urgency, not knowing where meals were going to come from and things like that? Get your ignorant ass over here and do that homework, looking like your ugly ass daddy. All of that, right? What about the ones who grew up in constant chaos? You know what? I got a taste of it. I'm messed up in some areas. There are some things that I wish I was more agile in that I know why I'm not. So I spend times exercising those areas where I know that there's atrophy, where there's a little bit of rust on the joints and things like that. But nonetheless, I know certain outcomes. So as we develop, as we get older, God gave us certain things that equipped us to be able to sail through life more efficiently. When we're growing up, when we're in our adolescent stage, it is called our developmental stage. We start developing. Our cognitive abilities start developing. Our reading and comprehension start developing, right? Our problem solving start developing. All of these elements God put inside of us because as they mature, they are tools that once they mature and we're older adults, we'll be able to utilize those tools to help us get over all of the obstacles and speed bumps in life that prevent us from getting where we're trying to go in life, right? But guess what studies suggest? Studies suggest that those developmental stages, when you're developing in those certain ages, guess what puts those developmental stages on pause? When you grow up in poverty, in a sense of urgency, and a lack of necessities. It's like your entire developmental process, somebody pushes a button, pause. Now, and listen, they say that once you hit that pause, the thing doesn't begin getting back on track until a sense of urgency is removed from you, until your finances get better, until there's food in the refrigerator, until you don't have to get on the floor anymore every time you hear.
We're always surviving. We're always in that survival mode, and that is a very,
Yes,
very difficult habit
yes.
to block. When I was growing up, so I didn't. We did grow up poor. We have been homeless. Um, you know, with my father and my mother, like the whole family, and so what was, I guess, the reason why I never experienced that is because I had a father that shielded us from it.
Okay, hold on, hold on, hold
He
on.
did everything he could
What
to
you
keep
just
us from
said,
it. So,
what you just said was beyond important. And I hear that you're going down a story of areas where you remember where it was important for you. But did you know 73% of our children grow up without a father?
yes, yes. And
So
and
listen,
and and, and I can definitely say
I only told this whole story
no,
to let you
listen.
know. The only reason I went down this path is to let you know, like, I used to hear people say, if I can do it, such and such can do it. If I can get a job, such and such can get. No, that person's critical
No,
thinking skills is not, listen, it has never even jumped in this person's mind. I live in Chicago.
it's not a,
I've got three
yeah.
fans whose lives have been taken. Maybe I should get on the internet and see small towns in
It's
Kentucky
not
where
there.
somebody like me can thrive without worrying about my life. They never get that thought
It's not
because
there.
it
It's
doesn't
not there. The
arrive.
concept is not there.
Yeah,
And
it's
it
not
doesn't
there.
arise because there are things that are in place that keep them from, because if you look at our
Yes.
schools now, like critical thinking is not allowed.
Yes.
Critical thinking is not allowed. And I grew up with this all my life. My father taught me to be a critical thinker, and there are things that are common sense and concepts to me, but when I have that conversation with other black people, the first thing they say is I'm thinking white or I'm acting white or I'm doing this and that. And I'm sitting there like,
Right, right,
isn't that just normal
right.
though? It took me years to understand that, oh wow, it's not normal for them.
Eh. Okay,
Oh,
and you're the caliber of woman. I look at you and I say, no, she has her faculties together. This is a reasonable woman. I can have a rational conversation with her. But sweetheart, are you aware of people who cannot effing read?
yes,
How do you think I
very
feel
aware.
about myself if I can't read? You think I'm walking
Yeah.
throughout my everyday life feeling good about myself? Yeah, I got one of these,
No,
and yeah, I'll
no.
let this thing go if you get in my face. I will pop that thing because I don't think I'm shit. I don't have any hope for myself. I don't see
It's
how I'm ever going to
pervasive
get $10,000 at
generational,
once.
it's generational low self-esteem
Yes.
because if your mothers were not taught value, how are they going to teach you value? The world is not going to teach you value
Okay. And there were
at
systems.
all.
Listen, there were systems put in place. Like, do you have any idea what the 1980s crack epidemic did to the black community? Do you have any? Here's one thing that I
Oh
knew.
yeah.
Yeah, listen, listen.
Yes.
We used to hear our grandmothers and our aunties after, the wave of it. They used to say things like, well, and we would just hear it in our household when Granny was on the phone and things like that. They would say things like, well, and we still don't know what the after effects of the crack epidemic's gonna be. Well, we're living in it now. We're living in it now.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
whole bunch of
Yeah.
broken. Look at our women. They listen. Our women brag about being hoes. They call themselves bitches, and it's
Sir,
normal.
I was made fun of for having a father
That's what I'm
by
telling you.
my own people.
That's what I'm
I
telling
was made fun of for the way I speak, and I did all the, like in high school, I was in debate class. Like debate is my thing. I love Socratic debate, Socratic discussion, all of that stuff. I was on the debate team, and everybody else was like, "Yeah, cool, you're good at doing this," and so on and so forth. But then when it came to my own people, it's like, "Oh, you're in them white activities. You think you're better than we are," and it never crossed my mind to look at them like I'm better than you. Like the concept never even crossed my mind. And the only time that I have found equilibrium with my own people was in the Marines.
Yep.
Because the military is a different life. All of the stuff that everybody's talking out here, you know, that's civvy talk. In there, it's you got to get in there and you got to do a job, and you are dictated to. It don't matter who's in charge, black, white, male or female. You're following orders. You have a uniform. You have uniform regulations, but like all of those regulations put everybody on the same plane. So when it comes to cultural differences, like, yeah, we can celebrate those off the clock, but at the end of the day, you're a Marine. End of story. It don't matter if you grew up in Chicago without a dad. It didn't matter if you were, yeah, it's a totally different mindset.
I stay very far away from politics because I've seen it dramatically change people. My brothers, they got hooked on sports to where that's kind of only thing that they talked about. They spent hours and hours and hours playing the video games and things like that. And the next biggest thing that I saw that can corrupt people is politics, right? One thing that I noticed, like, see, the issue that I have is when people say those Democrats or those Republicans. There is not a human being on planet Earth who can't see something good that takes place inside the Democratic Party and something good that takes place inside of the... You can't tell me you believe each one of those parties is 100% in error and they don't do anything right? And that's where it turns into gang banging. It turns into gang banging. What I've noticed about most of, like, I share some conservative views, you know what I mean? I love the right to be able to go out and generate my own money. I believe in capitalism, you know what I mean? To me, it's the ultimate measuring stick of ambition, right? So, you know, I believe in some forms of socialism, right? One thing that I saw about my friends who became conservative, this is my personal belief, and I can almost prove it. Empathy departed from them. It departed. It's like there is no excuse. Like black people would get no excuse. Listen, I got to ask you as a black woman. Now, your experience is going to be different for the simple fact that you went to the military. But I think that there's not enough emphasis put on not only what has been done, but what is being done to black people. Margaret Sanger put Planned Parenthood into action for black people. Listen, redlining, all of the avenues to where when blacks go to get a house loan, the insurance on it goes, the APR goes up when they want to sell
the APR goes up, and the escrow.
Interest.
They
That's
don't
the
have
word I'm looking for. Interest. The interest goes up. Yeah. And listen, when it's time to sell their houses, when they appraise them, they get like some terrible things have been done to black people. So I don't even know why. Listen, in my personal opinion, I don't believe that black people are supposed to be okay. Listen, you know what it, listen, I've had to back off of. Do you know how many people are all over social media? Look at Chud the Builder. What type of race of people should have to put up with that type of shit? We're talking about innocent black people now. He's walking up on them just calling them nigger. So I'm going to ask you something. I'm going to ask you, you're a conservative. We're going to get into this. And you've been to the military, so I know you probably have a patriot mindset. I want to ask you this. Name something that America has done to show African American people we love you and we will protect you.
In particular for black people?
I'm talking about all the way up until today's time. What is America doing to let the world know that it loves African Americans and it will protect us? What is America doing? What have they done?
Letting us keep our rights.
Listen.
That is the only way you can show love, if you let them keep their rights. The moment that you start infringing on...
So hold on. You said letting them keep their rights? So you believe that African Americans and whites have equal rights in America?
Especially when it comes to the Second Amendment.
No, I'm saying, do you believe that white people and African Americans have the same right, equal rights?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But that doesn't mean that I don't have empathy. The problem is,
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on,
what is.
hold on for a second. So you
Go ahead.
believe
Go ahead.
that blacks can do what whites can do?
Yes, I've done it.
Do
Yes, I
you
do.
listen?
There is nothing in this government, in this American system, that is going to stop me from doing what I have to do. I have
Ma'am,
never
you're
put
talking
my
about you. You're talking about you. You're talking about your level of ambition. So let's get it away from the
I'm
bias.
not the only one.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I'm not the only one.
So I want you to explain something to me. Explain this to me. Why 50% of the exonerations that take place are the African American community, meaning cases overturned because come to find out this wasn't the right guy. 50%.
That proves your point. That proves the point that America is doing something to show that they
Sweetie,
care
these people
about
have
black
been in
people.
prison for 10, 15, and 20 years.
I understand that, but it still was exonerations that happened.
Oh my God.
So I know you don't, I'm pretty sure you do not agree with that, but the fact that it is being done at all,
My God.
and no, I'm not saying that that is such a scrap that it shouldn't have happened in the first place. No, but it is being done. Is there any law right now in this society, in American society, that is preventing me from achieving my best life because I'm
Okay,
black?
you're talking about personal ambition. That is personal ambition. Listen, so let me ask you this. Are there institutions in place in America that are receiving government funding to prevent the advancement of African Americans?
Yeah, but that's going to be a conservative talking point.
But why
But
would you
yes,
hold on? Why would you latch on to a conservative talking point? Why wouldn't you speak from just common sense, what you know is taking place?
because it's classified as a conservative talking point. It's a lot of things that us conservatives say that they have made into a conservative talking point.
Okay, so
Yes,
let me say
there
this to you.
are institutions.
Are you
There are
aware?
institutions.
I want to explain to you what the 1980s crack epidemic did to the black community. Not only did they pump the most addictive substance that we've ever seen into our communities, but also they pumped it. And when we touched it, not only did we become zombies, but when we touched it, they gave us 40 and 50 years in prison. It was the only time that we saw women being treated like them. Women were getting 30 and 40 years for getting caught with 0.5 grams. Right? I did a show on this. These people know what I'm talking about. I did an entire show. Do you know that there was a road cop in, I think, Kentucky? He was a sheriff. He had already been kicked out of 3 things. This man conducted a drug bust. He nabbed up 75 people, right? These people didn't even know what CRACK was. Listen, they didn't require him to wire up. Listen, how they got busted, how they found out that all of these people, black, they couldn't even read. Some of these people were living in houses like Little House on the Prairie. Poor. He said, hell, they had me labeled a drug kingpin in the newspaper. He said that he had holes in his house, the old type of wood. Listen. So how they found out what happened is because one of the women at the time that this rogue sheriff says she was in this city selling her that substance, she was at the bank taking out her last $5 out of the bank for some bread. He went so far to try to establish, no, that's a conspiracy. I know I got the right person. Listen, some of them people did 15 years. Now, my point in bringing all of that up to you is this. Not only did they pump that, hey, I'm pretty sure they have the address to Beverly Hills. If you really want to make some money to fund the Nicaraguan government, the Nicaraguan war, let me ask you this. Why wouldn't you pump that stuff in Beverly Hills where you know they have money? Huh?
Right.
Okay, so hold on. Let's go here with this. The laws were so extraneous, you could get caught if it was 0.05, 0.05, 0.05, and I want to show you what 0.05 represents. People were getting caught with 3 of these and getting like 50 years in prison. So where Charlie Kirk was talking about the single epidemic in the black community, I call the 1980s crack epidemic the father snatching machine. I'm old enough. I saw all of that. Listen, I saw all of that.
Yeah.
I saw it with my own eyes. I saw people who used to be our bus driver, law-abiding citizens. Now he's gone. This man got 30 years in prison. He's never even been arrested. Now listen, hold on. I'm going somewhere with you for this. Not only when we touch it did we turn into zombies, zonked out of our minds, right? The most addictive element we've seen. But when we would touch it, they would give us 50 years in prison, and then they hit the same thing for our women. Not only that, we sold off all of our possessions to get it. Now, since you say that blacks and whites are equal, over the last 15 years in the white community, present day time, are you aware that the opioid epidemic exploded in black communities around the nation? Heroin, are you aware of that?
Yeah, I'm just talking about that. Yeah, the fentanyl too.
Right. Now check this out. Check this out. Because the laws that were already in place that were used to be able to give blacks excessive amounts of time for this substance, those laws were still in place when the opioid epidemic hit the white communities. So that the father snatching machine wouldn't invade the white communities, guess what they did? They removed some of those laws, and instead of it being a crime, now it's a health issue. So when white people get caught with that substance, they're not doing 20 years. They're getting rehabilitation. Blacks and whites do not have the same rights in America. By far. Listen, I forget what it's called. It was an attempt to repeal. It was called the unfair sentencing guideline. The fact that it was called that lets you know it was unfair. Blacks were being.
Are you talking about the 94
crime bill?
Crime
The 94,
bill?
yeah, the 94 crime bill that Joe Biden authored it, and Bill Clinton. Listen, they got, I think, they amassed $37 billion for that crime bill, and they used $9 billion of it to build new prisons. Who you think filled those prisons up? Listen, the whole time that blacks were getting caught with that substance, listen, you can look this up right now on white people's database. Look at the FBI database. Did you know that a white person with the same crime record and a black person with the same crime record, if they both get in trouble, blacks stand to get in 2 times more trouble than the white person? I mean, I think everybody knows this, though. I think it may be something like, see, my cousin became a conservative, and he went nuts with it. My childhood best friend, it's like they went nuts. So I was careful to not delve too far into politics because I saw very sane, intelligent, sound-minded people change like they had joined a cult or something, and they were acting like blacks and whites really had the same rights. Listen, I'll go so far as to tell you this. If white America was even stupid enough to do things that would put us on an even playing field, the world knows it would be stupid. Black people are the most influential group of people. Listen, and if you believe we have equal rights, the NFL and the NBA is 80 and 85% black. Did you know we're not allowed to own teams? We're not allowed to own teams.
I thought we were teams.
You can't name one NBA team owner. You can't name one NFL owner. We don't have, listen, we dominate music. We don't have one major record label that's black owned. We're not allowed to. We're not allowed to. It is not fair for blacks here, by far. Listen, I'm not a victim because I've already defeated the stereotype against me. I've already rose above the occasion. I'm already successful. Me personally, I can't be stopped. As long as there's oxygen in my lungs, I can't be stopped. But does that prevent me from seeing what's going on? Listen, all of these people that when they get pulled over by the police, I'm not knocking sometimes you have to use deadly force, but I want you to tell me what justifies popping someone 36 times, even after the body has already hit. You can't find me an incident where that has taken place in the white community. What's his name? What's his name? Somebody named the little kid. A 1-year-old just got popped, and they say, well, it's because she was using a 1-year-old. Police just took the life of a 1-year-old, and they said, well, it's because of how she was using her car as a weapon. Blah blah blah. Yet there's no other recorded time where police have taken the life that I know of a white baby, no matter what she was doing. I think it's dangerous for us to assume that blacks and whites have equal rights in America. Listen, if I go into the U.S. judicial court system, my outcome is going to be different from a white person's. Do you believe that? We can go for the same crime with the same criminal history.
That's interesting because I've been arrested and I've been in court. I never
Hold on. You're talking about you. You're talking. Listen. Hold on. You're talking about you. We don't do that up here. You're talking about an isolated incident, an experience of yours. When we talk up here, we talk about what's happening the majority of the time.
See, I thought you were talking about something personal to you when you went to court. I didn't realize it was a hypothetical, so that's why I brought that up.
It's not a hypothetical. I'm talking about statistically. When blacks go into a courtroom, listen, do you know that one of our rights is supposed to be that we get a jury of our peers? Did you know that?
Yes.
Did you know that blacks are lucky if they get one black person out of 12 on their jury? It's not going to happen.
Yeah, they are usually the minority. Yeah.
So that means we're not being afforded a jury of our peers. Listen, when white people go, so I want to throw this at you. There's a boy out here in LA, white boy. He became infatuated with the internet and gang culture. So he started getting on the internet. He started reaching out to people. Meeting up with people, real bona fide gang members. Reaching out to them to where he got cool with them. They jumped him in the gang and this and that and this and that. They went on a mission. Him and two, and this boy was rich. His people were rich. Him and two of the black guys that he befriended, they went on a mission and they took the life. The white boy was driving. They took the life of another black person. How do you think that whole case played out? The two blacks went to prison and the lawyer for the white boy contended he was raised better than this. His parents have, that boy went home off of a MURDER. I think it's something good for us to say, but I really don't think anybody in the world thinks that blacks and whites have equal rights in America. And if you think they do, I want you to give me some examples of how blacks and whites have equal rights in America.
Like I said, it's about the opportunity. But then again, you're right. When it comes to laws and arrests and things like that, no, we don't. And I also feel that it is attached to how, and I think that's where the lack of sympathy comes in on the conservative side.
Hold on, give me a second, sweetheart. Give me a second. Miss Monique said, my president is black. Well, if you're talking about the charlatan Barack Obama, he was nothing more than someone who was running around promoting homosexuality. That man didn't do anything for the black community. Let's stop this. We got to stop associating our politics with color, because I'd prefer to have a white man who is really doing things for the black community than a black man who's not. I respect Barack as a man, how he carries himself, but that man was trying to peddle off. He took $70 million to Africa and said if they become more open to homosexuality, that America would give them. So, I mean, listen, to be honest, I'll go so far as to say this. I'm not a Republican. I believe the bulk of racism in America comes from the Republican side. But I'll tell you about the Democratic Party. The things they push don't benefit the black community. They don't. Somebody name me how homosexuality benefits the black community. That's where all of that shit comes from. No, they used our struggle. They used our struggle to justify the homosexuality. I agree. They always take our struggle and put it on someone else. I've actually had someone say to my face, how can you be black and not support the gay community? And I'm like, that's crazy. You don't understand. These are things. I'm going to do a list of things conservatives go through, black conservatives go through. And the first thing that was thrown in my face, because I ran for city council here in my city where I live,
And, they're like, well, don't you understand the gay struggle is the same thing as the black struggle? And I'm like, and these are black people telling me this.
I think here's what I think about the Democratic Party. I think that they promote laziness. I think that they promote things like welfare. I believe that since Donald Trump has been in office, like I used to be a fan of Donald Trump's. I've read both of his books, each one of them, Surviving at the Top and about, I forget what the other one was, but they were really
Art
good
of the
books.
Deal.
Art of the Deal. Art of the Deal. Yep. Art of the Deal. Those were some really good books. But if I have to just there is no way. See, let me say this really quick. People say that people who criticize certain aspects of politics, they have the victim mentality. If we admit that whites have done anything to us, they say we have a victim mentality. Well, how come all of these multi-millionaires and billionaires, like LeBron James, not even just people like them, but I'm losing the names that I'm trying to mention right now. All of these people, Tavis Smiley, they can't be victims. They've amassed multiples of millions of dollars for themselves. So when you see and there's even white multimillionaires and stuff who talk about the treatment of blacks, tons of them. There are. So you can't lay that victim mentality on it because there's winners, people who have won in life who are condemning how blacks get treated in America.
What's crazy is that a lot of that, when it comes to because I look at Hollywood, that's what I call it, at Hollywood, I just find it funny that a lot of those celebrities talk about, how black people are treated in America, but they are still in that same machine that mistreats black people in America. Like Hollywood
is diabolical. It's diabolical. It is.
They're racist. They are the racists. Like if you want to talk about
Hollywood
racism,
is about racism. I think Hollywood is more about satanic worship and things like that. They're just
yeah. Oh God, we're not going to get into that.
Listen, somebody said this. Somebody said this. Somebody said Trump, and this is I think a white woman. She said Trump is detrimental to the U.S. and the U.K. is lacking any decent leader. I agree. Now I have a question for you. Because I know you're probably a supporter. I don't knock anybody for how they vote. I love have the conversations so we can use logic, historical data, and facts to get us down to the closest possibility of facts that we can. So my question to you is, so you said you are a Trump supporter.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm going to warn you ahead of time because I don't want it to catch you off guard. This question is going to put you on the spot. It's going to pretty much force you to confront a complicated truth. Now, here's the question. Do you believe that Donald Trump is a man of integrity?
No.
I really respect you. I respect
How
that.
can you be in that? How can you be in that kind of world? I've been in politics. Politics has no room for integrity. The only thing it has room for
I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about the individual that he is. Do you believe
the individual? No,
right.
You can't be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The individual that Donald Trump is, I do respect, because if you read Surviving at the Top and The Art of the Deal and things like that, he was good in his field as far as construction and stuff like that. He was bringing projects in ahead of time. So I'm an ambitious man. I respect stuff like that. Donald Trump was actually trying to build a Hollywood in Florida. But the deal, so I really respect people who could pull off big things. I think here's where we have to get as whoever, Republican, conservative, liberal, whatever. I think we have to get to a place where we don't mind telling the truth. Donald Trump. See, me, I can sit here and say, hell no, I wouldn't want my son turning out like Donald Trump as far as morals. But I can also, in that same breath, say Donald Trump has done some amazing things. When he's built things in New York that are like So we have to get to a place where we can admit
a man of integrity when you are, because I don't know how you know how New York works. He's not a man of integrity, but he can do things with integrity. For instance, the mob The five heads of the five families in New York, they're the ones that controlled the construction. They're the ones that controlled the trucking. They're the ones that controlled all the contracts for building in New York. And Donald Trump literally did not do any business with them. He refused them. Like one of the few businessmen that actually refused mob involvement with his building projects. Do you know how hard it is to get contracted to build anything in New York City during the 80s and 90s when the mob was at its height? If you're discussing business with the mob, you can't have what I would call integrity, but you can have savviness, business savvy.
I think you can be in politics. I think you can be in politics and have integrity and be honorable. And the reason we know it is because those are the people who usually don't get thrust into the spotlight. Because you got to think about it. What did Donald Trump campaign on? Donald Trump campaigned on cleaning the swamp and exposing all of the people who like to touch little kids. But now he's completely against it. He wants that stuff dead. He wants that conversation dead. So I think this is where I pride myself. I say it all the time. I pride myself in being one of the most impartial men that I know. I don't want to, my information in your face. I don't want to do that. I want to have a conversation and see how logic and facts remodel this conversation and bring the real truth to the top, right? What I do know is this. I think almost everybody knows that Donald Trump was doing what Epstein and were doing on the island. Puffy, listen. Donald Trump was said to be a billionaire before Puffy even had millions, right? So when Puffy got a certain level of power, look what he was doing. You really think Donald Trump wasn't on Epstein Island doing what they say his name is mentioned in the Epstein files over 1,000 times? Now,
I actually read that. I did read the Epstein files, and it's mostly Jeffrey Epstein railing against Donald Trump and trying to take him down. I actually read those files.
You believe that you read the real Epstein files. You believe that with nothing taken out. You believe that.
What was released and what was being redacted. Yeah, because here's the thing. If Donald Trump was on the island, and this is my go-to, that shit would have came out in 2016.
He won't let it out. Listen, true or false?
He wasn't president then. This
I'm
was
talking about
when
now.
He was running.
Listen, okay, so.
Okay. I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, listen, check this out. True or false? I'll pull it up. Well, I got both of these. I'll pull it up on this. I'll show you. Are you aware that just recently they asked Donald Trump about when they were going to release the files, and he said, "I don't think it's a good idea. A lot of good people that I know would get hurt." Are you aware that he said that?
Oh, did I disconnect?
Yeah,
now.
You just paused for a minute, but it's all.
Oh,
good.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that. No, I'm on my phone. I can't look anything up without pausing because I am the type of person. It's like, I don't agree with you, and I'll show you what I've read, what I found, but I can't do that because I'm on my phone and it'll disconnect. So what I will have to do is let's set up I would love to set up. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here we go. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. That whole page is iterated. That whole page. Let me see something. I'm gonna see.
Oh my God, I can't even see it.
I mean, it's everywhere. The Guardian. Trump complains. Listen. Even The Guardian. Trump complains Epstein files are damaging people who innocently met him. Like, listen, Trump literally said it would hurt a lot of good people. Even with the listen.
And I have stuff to dispute that, but I can't pull it up because we'll get disconnected.
Listen, let me ask you this. What do you think about Donald Trump not only pardoning them, but trying to put aside $1.7 billion for the January 6 rioters. Even black people, we complain when black people talk about reparations, but he said he was going to give that $1.7 billion to the January 6 rioters because their lives were inconvenienced. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, actually I do. I was there on January 6th, and what they say happened did not happen.
No, I'm asking
except
you,
for
do you agree that
shooting.
those people deserve $1.7 billion?
Yes, because they were a lot of
Oh
them
my
that were put into the. Hold on. You've made your point. Let me make mine, please. The the reason why I agree with that is because there were a lot of people who were sitting in jail who weren't even part of those riots, and I
Ma'am, that
wouldn't
is
even
not the
call it
majority of
that.
those cases. That is not the majority. The majority of
Which
those
cases
cases.
are you talking
Listen,
about?
I'm talking about the cases where the people were on film breaking in there. You think?
Okay, and they also had the other side do the same a couple of years ago. They didn't get that same treatment.
Okay, see, here's what you're doing.
So this is not the
Listen,
first. This is
you're
not the
doing the
first.
you're doing the political gang banging. When you said the other side, we're not talking about any other side. We're talking about that specific incidents. Here's
You cannot talk about that and not talk about the other side
we
because
actually
one side
can.
don't get it.
We actually
I
can.
disagree. I disagree. I
So you think
totally
right now,
disagree with that.
you think right now, if we condemn African American women's behavior, and we know that their behavior is terrible in America, you think that we can't condemn African American women's behavior without also talking about black men? What?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
It's
That is not
exactly
the
what
point
you're
that I was
saying.
making at all. No, sir. No, it's not. This is my point. The Capitol has been broken into by Black Lives Matter and Democrat protesters, and they disrupted a session. They did not get arrested. They did not get fined. They did not get into jail and stayed there for 160 days without due process. The ones that were arrested during January 6th, they got jailed, they got fined, they got held over 160 days without due process. These are two different groups of people that broke into the Capitol for the same reasons. One group didn't get punished as much as the other. So yes,
No,
I
you're the one
do
bringing
agree.
that up. That's why I said it's always dangerous to bring that up. When you said one group didn't get punished, that's why we shouldn't even talk about the other group. What we're dealing with is this group of people right here. Even the American government doesn't. Listen, even the American government doesn't operate the way you're suggesting. The American government, when somebody breaks the law, they focus on that person. They don't say, well, but there are some people over here who, they don't do that. We
But this
focus on
isn't, no,
these
they do
individuals.
that. That's how due process works. They go through case
Okay, so let me
precedents
ask you
in
this.
order to justify the outcome of certain cases. We're not talking about race now. We're talking about two political systems, two political supporters of two different parties. One did one thing which was similar to what was done with the other thing. One got a different sentence than the other. That is
Okay, so listen.
that is the fact.
Do you believe that black
They
people
had
should
a
receive?
political.
Do you believe that black people should receive reparations?
Yes, but not just from the United States. And I do not believe in having white people now paying for those reparations because they didn't own slaves.
Okay.
And if they are
So
going to go through
listen, you
a
said you don't believe in having white people pay for reparation for slaves and things of that nature. Then who's going to pay?
not today's money.
It's fine. So who did you think was going to pay the $1.7 billion for the January 6 rioters?
But that is for a grievance that happened recently, not a grievance that happened
Listen,
160 years
I want you to
ago.
do something to me. I want you to do something for me. And you're about to have the microphone clear. I want you to name the things, the hardships that justify $1.7 billion going to them. Tell me give me your example of how they deserve that amount.
Are you talking about the amount of $1.6
I'm
billion?
asking you, what did they do to earn $1.7 billion? Please tell me.
It was a miscarriage of justice. How would you feel if you were put in jail without due process, even being part of the riots, not having a lawyer, not having any counsel, not having anybody talk to you, not allowing your family to see you? Yeah,
Ma'am,
that's
do
a
you
serious
understand that
breach.
America does that on a regular basis? What do you think Guantanamo Bay is for? These people are getting kidnapped and their families don't even know. Based on 9/11, do you know that they can just come snatch you up and say, we suspected terrorism, and they don't even have to tell your family where you're at until they let you go? But to answer your question, I did have a case put on me and I fought it for 2 years. And the only thing that saved my life was when they say that I was in Michigan selling that substance, I had a Blockbuster Video membership card that I was filling out in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, where's my 1.5 billion, ma'am? What do you think I got out
Did
of
you
that?
ever try to pay for it?
Yes,
Yeah,
I did. What do you think I got out of that? And
you
yet
didn't get
you're
anything, did you?
justified. I said 2 years. Wasn't even around. So where's my 1.7? I really didn't do anything. Really didn't. They did. I'm trying to get you to tell me what justifies giving. Listen, if we know that 50% of the cases that get overturned for wrongly convicted is African Americans, where's their 1.7 billion? This isn't something that has happened in the black community. This is something that is ongoing. The prisons are built for black people. Where is that? That's what I'm saying to you. To justify 16 people getting $1.7 billion when blacks are never giving anything. Blacks are,
And
listen,
all of them were white?
I don't know how many of them
Were
were
all of
black.
them?
I don't know how many of them were black,
Okay.
but I do know the significant majority of them. I'm just being really,
Fancy card significant, yeah, they're probably majority white. I
yes.
will really have to. I do want to revisit this. I want to be able to look this up and get more information. I do. I
There's
do.
no
And I want to
justification for that.
revisit this.
Where's my billion at? Where's mine at?
Yeah.
Listen,
I
right
can't.
now, racism is at a level that is so high, I haven't seen it in years. And it's funny to me that did you know this? That if you want to be a big TikTok influencer or influencer on Instagram, period, did you know that tonight, right now, this all just started about a year ago. Did you know that tonight you can create you an Instagram or a TikTok page, and if you start saying nigger and calling black people coons and monkeys, did you know that your following will blow up overnight? I haven't seen that on any other president's watch.
Wow. See, I'm not on social media like that, so I didn't know.
Listen, Chud the Builder, throughout his tenure, races have gotten very, 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 very comfortable. Now ask yourself why. They've gotten very comfortable.
Well, also, we've gotten very comfortable with anti-white sentiment too, and their channels blow up too. So
Hold on. What are you talking about?
it's
Are you saying that blacks start channels and talk about white people and their channels blow up? You can't name one. You can't go to no. You can't go to any of the. Listen, I'm on my job is to be. This show is 4 years old. My job is to be up on everything that you're talking about so that I can react to it. Man, what you're talking about is non-existent. You can't go on any of the 4 major platforms and see. Listen, did you know this? When you talk about white people, nothing happens. You don't get a following or anything. White people's crime in America have been dubbed as not as bad as black people crime. Who do you think touches children the most? Why isn't that being talked about? Why isn't that going viral? The church, when kids are in church praying and all of a sudden gunfire erupts. When kids are in school doing schoolwork, gunfire erupts. Who do you think is doing that? But yet, guess what's being talked about more than that on social media? Shaquisha ran out to Dollar General. She know damn well them groceries wasn't hers. That's what goes viral. Have you noticed all of these white school teachers, women, who are touching on these underage boys? It's like at least 10 every day that's happening. But that's not what's talked about. So no matter what dirt we find on white America, listen, your channel will never blow up talking. Your channel will go cold if you bring up things that white people are doing. And the reason I know, I'll challenge you right now. I don't know you. I don't know how often you're on social media. How do I know 100% for a fact? Out of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, you cannot show me one profile that got large off of condemning white people. You can't show me one. Yet, if you flip the script, if you flip the script right now, I can show you young girls who have all of a sudden went viral just for saying nigger, chimping out, and just talking about all of the things that black people do. I'll show you. Know what? Again, I'll show you something.
And like I said, I'm not on social media that much. I'm usually on
It's my
YouTube,
job to be. And listen, I jumped off for a minute. I jumped off of social media for a minute, even though this is my job. And for about a month or so, I was just uploading old content. You know why I jumped off? Because it started affecting me, seeing how much America hates black people. It started affecting me. I couldn't get away from it. Now you got Chud the Builder walking around, just walking up, calling people niggers. And then when you see the companies that are coming out saying that they'll pay several $100,000 to get him released, what does that tell you? This man was walking up on innocent black people in diners and stuff saying nigger. And then the reason that they won't let him out right now is because they found old posts of his where he prophesied one of these niggers is going to chimp out about me saying nigger. And then that's when my trial will start. His goal was to be able to take a black person out. But yet, what do you think would happen if I went around Beverly Hills, Brentwood, places like that, flipping off white people, calling them hunkies? How do you think things would end for me, ma'am? I might not make it to the jail. If I had a long...
Did you just lose me? Did you just lose me again?
No.
Okay.
Listen, I'm telling you, blacks can't do what whites can do in America. This is what I wanted to go back to and tell you. When that opioid epidemic hit the white communities, they changed all of the laws that were in place that destroyed the black community so that what was done to the black community wouldn't happen to the white community. Because if they had left those same laws in place, that opioid epidemic mixed with those laws would have did to the white community what it did to the black community. That's not fair. That's not fair. Yeah. We got people in prison right now. In the 1980s, crack epidemic, we got people in prison right now because of that. 3 strikes, you're outlaw. All of this stuff. Who do you think who do you think are the victims of mass incarceration? Blacks or whites? Listen, they just released a study that at nighttime, black people get pulled over less. You know why? Because they can't see in the car. When they see that it's a black person, they're more likely to get pulled over. Listen, I think you can probably tell the furthest thing away from me is a victim mentality because I can't lose. I can't be stopped, right? But Byron Allen, these are the people I was talking about. You got people like Byron Allen, people who have already made it, billionaires. They're speaking out about what's going on too. Are they victims too? How can they be victims when they have exceeded to such heights? No, they're opening their eyes and they're seeing this. The woman Sandra Bland.
They're seeing the system for what it is.
Listen, Sandra Bland, they walked in that woman's house and popped her in the head. Like, that's not happening. If you want to know, are things out of pocket? Ask yourself, the things that you see taking place in the black community, search the white community and see if 1-year-olds are getting offed. Search the white community for any Tamir Rices. Listen, just recently, last week, they had an African-American man. They already had him handcuffed, laying on his stomach, popped him in the back of the head. Tell me how that's justified.
Yeah.
Listen, Fruitvale Station, you probably saw it with Michael B. Jordan. I think that's the movie that blew him up. Look how they did him. He was on his stomach, on his back, handcuffed. And when they popped him, hold on, but let's go here. What about the police officer woman? What about the police officer woman who went in a black man's house while he was watching TV, popped that man up. And her defense was, I got off of the elevator on the wrong floor, and I walked in that house, thought it was my house, thought someone was in it, and I took their life. Do you think a black person could get away with something like that? Listen, I'm astounded that there's even one human being, not black. I'm astounded if there would be even one human being on all, not America, on the planet who thinks that black and whites have equal rights in America. Our outcomes when we encounter the judicial system is completely different. They say that whites are 26 times more likely to get probation than blacks. Instead, blacks going off to prison. And I got a question for you. I don't want to hold you up on that. I got one question for you.
No, you're not holding me up. This is fine. That's what I called in for.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just you gotta promise, but you gotta promise me that the next time I call that we debate this again.
I got you.
Promise.
I respect
Okay.
I respect discussions like this. Nobody's acting ignorant and things like that, right? My question to you is this. What makes you desire to believe that blacks and whites have equal rights in America? What makes you desire to believe that?
What makes me desire, again, like you said, it's more of a personal experience.
Okay. I can respect that. I can respect that.
It's personal experience. It's definitely personal because I've traveled halfway around the world, and let's just say if you think racism is bad in America,
you said
no. I have traveled. I've been to
hold on.
Germany,
But I'm so are you saying that you don't believe that racism is bad in America?
It's not as bad as it is.
I'm not talking about who it's worse than. I'm saying, do you believe racism is a part of American history?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, it is a part of American history. But that wasn't the question that you asked. You asked me what was the desire that to believe that
blacks and whites have equal rights.
And I said it's through my personal experience. You said yes, I can respect that, and I was giving you why I thought that way.
No, but listen, I think you misunderstood the question. I'm asking you, what makes you desire to believe that blacks and whites have equal rights? Give me some evidence that substantiates that in America. Give me any example that makes you believe that blacks and whites have equal rights.
Again, it's only my personal experience, but I've never
that doesn't count.
Okay. Well, but you just said that you respected that, so that's
I respect the fact that you said. I respect the fact that you have other. See, listen, when they're trying to cure cancers and things like that, they get several mice and test it. They don't get one because you can't quantify the information you get from one. That's why up here we always speak in generalizations.
We deal with incompetent.
Yeah, listen. I know that there's. I know that there are some amazing African American women. I know that all black women aren't terrible. I know that. But we're speaking in general, what is the reputation of a lot of African American women? And we can get to the bottom of that because they have a stereotype about them. Black men, we have a stereotype about us. So that's why I speak in the general, because the general is what needs to be fixed. Now, my question to you, give me some examples of things that are taking place in America that lead you to believe that blacks and whites realistically have equal rights.
We're making more money than ever before. As a matter of fact, we are in the generation that has the most money-making black men and women in the history of the United States than any other era.
Do you know that that's coming from entrepreneurialism? That has
I
nothing
know.
to do, that has nothing to do with racism. That has nothing to do with racism. I'm asking you. Okay,
I think it does.
Listen, let me ask you a better way. Name me some things that you experience in America that lead you to believe that blacks and whites are on the same level playing field, that blacks can do what whites can do and whites won't receive different outcomes. This is what I'm trying to get, because you can't name anything, to be honest. Work, work, that has nothing to do with any racist institutions. If you want to sell hair weave, how the hell can racism do something about that? You can become a millionaire. That's a multi-billion-dollar industry a year. Makeup, cosmetics. So that has nothing to do with racism. I'm talking about
No,
what
but
is
we do have a
America.
lot. But we do have a lot. We do have a lot of vice presidents and presidents and CEOs, and that's not just entrepreneurship. That's corporate. We do have the highest number of Black people in C-suites. We have the highest number of people that are graduating with honors and
The
degrees.
highest number compared to what though? See, you're not making sense when you say it like that. If you
When,
compare it to whites, it's not a
over the
high
years,
number. If you compare it to whites, it's not a high number.
yeah, but I'm not going to sit there and say that because we aren't graduating at a high rate, that's racism.
No, but listen,
Actually,
I just want to
barring
show
it.
you something. I want to show you something. The truth of the matter is, ma'am, you haven't been able to name anything. The things that you're naming have nothing to do with racism. I'll give you an example. If I were you and you were questioning me like this, I would be able to say something like, on a mass level, we're seeing in the studies where blacks are receiving more favoritism in judicial systems than whites. That's what I'm talking about. Those things matter. These are institutions that are geared up to attack black people. Now, what I'm asking you is something that you've seen. Name something that's taking place in America that would cause you to go to your girlfriend and say, girl, from what I'm seeing, blacks and whites is equal. What would those things that you're seeing look like? What are the things that lead you to believe that blacks and whites? See, because if you ask me, here's an example. If you ask me why I believe that blacks and whites don't have equal rights, we can't get this. They did a study, and this is a study conducted by a white woman. A black man with a college degree equals out to a white man having a felony when pursuing job applications. Listen, are you aware that there are systems put in place that when they're reviewing job applications, they're in a lot of places they're instructed to look at the names, and if they look like black sounding names and things like that, put their application to the bottom. Like, so that's what makes me think that we're not on even playing field. That's what I'm saying. I have things that I can tell you that lead me to believe blacks and whites don't have the same rights. Listen, even as far as selling a damn house, D.L. Hewley, I believe it was, they appraised that man's house close to $200,000 less, and then his white neighbor staged that house. And we know we've heard of multiple incidents of this. Had the white neighbor put his pictures up on the wall and this and that, man, they appraised that thing for close to $180,000 more. It leads me to believe blacks and whites don't receive the equal treatment in America. Listen, even as it pertains to pretrial diversion, meaning, you know how sometimes you can get in trouble and they'll say, we'll give you probation, provided that if you don't get in any more trouble in the next 18 months, we'll drop this thing down to a misdemeanor, things like that. Whites receive that at a 26% rate more than other races. Like, there's a system literally put in place to make sure that there is no advancement of. Listen, let's just do it like this. When they abolished slavery,
Yeah, I can't answer that. I can't. To be honest with you, I can't.
This is our reality. We live in this. Let's talk about this. This is the only time I'm going to go back to slavery, but let's talk about when the slaves were released. A lot of people like to talk about Black Wall Street, but that's not, it's like 50 Black Wall Streets. When these people are released and they go off building their own communities, why would you follow them and set these communities on fire and then take the lives of around 70 to 80 people? In New Jersey, the same thing.
And that's how unions were actually started, because once the blacks were released from slavery, they had actual vocational skills. They did the plumbing, they made the windows, they did the landscaping. And the whites up north were afraid of blacks migrating to the north because it's the same complaint now. They're going to take our jobs. So they formed a union so that we couldn't join them.
Yeah, that's
I
what
know.
I'm like, you can open your eyes. You can open your eyes and see the difference. Like, you won't be able to show me where there's a white person who got popped 32 times by police and he was fit. Laquan McDonald in Illinois, that man was like 20. They had him in a horseshoe, the police did. There was a police officer here, police officer here, police officer here. That man was 25 feet away from the nearest officer. They lit that man up like 17 times, and when his body hit the ground after like the 5th shot, and they kept popping him. There's a difference, sweetheart. There's a huge difference. Again, I'm not a victim, but the reason that people come to this show,
But
the reason I'm able to view this show impartially, because I only talk about what's really going on. Listen, 80% of my show is condemning lewd African-American behavior and trying to show us how we can do better and stuff. That's 80% of my show. I have over 1,000 videos. Most of it is telling black women you need to do better. Most of it is telling black men you need to be better fathers. So if I am that type of man, do you think I'd just be sitting here lying about what's going on in America? I hold black people accountable. I'm one of the known faces.
Oh, no, not at all. I don't think you're lying or anything like that. That's why I was attracted to your show and wanted to talk.
Give me a second. I'm coming right back to you. Give me a second. What's going on, good brother? Are you here? All right. So that ain't gonna work. Give me a second. Somebody else wanted to come up.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take up everyone's time.
You are good. You are good. This is somebody on a different platform. I got 4 platforms going right now.
Okay.
Jay Miller. Come on up, Jay. I'm trying to accept you. Jay. Okay, Jay Smuller. Hey, Jay, there it is right there, I think. There it is. So I will send for him. Hey, Jay, I've accepted your thing several times. Come on up. J_Smuller. Okay. Okay, I guess there he is right there. All right, I just sent you an invite, Jay. Sometimes it won't let me just accept. See, the conversations we have up here, they're just realistic conversations. They're not geared at, this person, oh, we're attacking you. This is a show where, listen, we discuss all of the things that are taking place in life, and we apply tools like logic, facts, historical data to come to a conclusion.
And critical thinking.
Yeah. A lot of these things are easy to figure out. Like you can, matter of fact, watch this. I'm going to do this for you. I should be able to do this. I'm going to say it out loud so you can hear what ChatGPT says. I don't have it on my tablet. Damn it. Are there systems in place in America to thwart the advancement of African Americans and oppress them as a community? Where is that? I'm gonna do this. I thought I would have had. Yeah, this ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna do it. Hey, give me a second. I'm gonna use ChatGPT on this phone. Well, who is this? Yeah, give me a second, TikTok. Don't go anywhere. Watch this. Are there systems and institutions in place in America that oppress and suppress the advancement of the African American community? And if so, could you give me a list of these establishments, systems, and institutions? Watch this. The first word was what? Yes. Now, I'll read it to you. There is substantial evidence from decades of research that some institutions, laws, and systems have produced or continue to produce disparate outcomes for African Americans. However, scholars disagree on the extent to which current... Here are some of the institutions and systems most commonly discussed. The criminal justice system, differences in
Mhm.
policing, practicing, sentencing disparities for some offenses, bail systems. Listen, you know how they were talking, you know how they were TikTok. Listen, you know how you familiar with the Carmelo Anthony and all of that stuff? Do you know how they were talking about? Well, you may not, because it sounds like you might not be familiar with Chud the Builder. They're saying Chud the Builder, Carmelo Anthony's bond was $200,000. Chud the Builder's is I think they said 1.2. Ma'am, for a case that wasn't even real, my bond was $300,000. That is very common in the black community. We don't get bonds
Mhm.
for these things. Well, listen, all of the white Americans that you see when they have a MURDER charge, they get something that black people are not familiar with: a bond. You know what? When blacks are told you don't have a bond, we get $1 million bond, and that's for simple crack. That's regular in the black community. Several $100,000 bonds. But let me read a little bit more of this. Here are some of the institutions and systems most commonly discussed. Differences in policing, the criminal justice system, differences in policing practices, sentencing disparities for some offenses, bail systems that disproportionately affect lower income defendants, collateral consequences of felony convictions affecting employment. Listen, check this out. Do you know that there's a guy in California right now who just recently got 22 years because he's a convicted felon? Somebody broke in his house and he popped him up. He got 22 years for that law that's put
Because
in
he
place.
wasn't supposed to have a firearm. Is that
Yes.
what they're saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
but they all have evidence that felonies were put on black people to hit them like this. We get felonies for things
So
that
they
white people
won't
don't get
have.
felonies for. Yes. My uncle used
Yep.
to tell me that when I was younger, and I thought, oh, here goes some of this Black Panther talk. Here he talking about they're going to use felonies to take our gun rights away. And. As I got older,
And
I said, no, they did it. They did it.
They did it.
I used
They
to
did.
listen. I used to have a felony some years ago. I'm going to tell you the honest to God's truth. This is the honest to God truth. This was about 15, 16 years ago before it had got, wiped off. I used to sit in my house and I used to debate myself. If someone came in my house, I had a pop. But I was in a betwixt of defending myself and going to prison, or just see if I could escape somebody taking my life by, I don't know, using a stick or something. You see how crazy that is to have to live an existence like that?
Yeah. Yeah. My husband's a felon, so yeah. Yeah.
Listen, I'm not here to say, woe is me, this and that. I think the only way that we can do better is acknowledge what we're up against. That's how you do better. I know things aren't equal for me, so I go harder than I think. Listen, let's go here. My closest friend, God rest the dead, who just passed, was an 80-year-old white man. See, I have the ability to be impartial. I'm not all or nothing. I can acknowledge that there is a person who is white who has done more for me than a lot of black people have. But being impartial, I can also acknowledge that I see racism throughout America. I'm not a one. That's the only thing that I don't like about politics. Like, it's gang banging. It's like they can't see anything good that a Republican does. A Democrat can't see anything good that a conservative does. A conservative can't see any of the good. That's crazy to me. You're telling me you can't find anything right that these people have sponsored? Nothing. 100%. Nothing.
Yeah, like I get a lot of flack because, and like I said, this is more personal experience, but being a vet, and my husband is white and he's a convicted felon, and there's a lot of, well, you can't be black if you're this, or you can't be white if you're this, or how can you think this way or think that way, which is why I love having these conversations. I'll admit when I don't know anything, and I want to be impartial. I want to be armed with information because I want things to get better for everyone.
No, I'll be
My
honest. I can
people.
respect people like you. I can respect people like you because your mind isn't already made up. You're waiting on more information so you can come to a conclusion. Most people aren't like that.
That's
Most
right.
people, they
Yes,
just want to
I
say, if
was
you go against my party, it's like that. And that's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying?
I was not allowed growing up in my household. I was not allowed to think like that. My father wouldn't allow it at all.
See what I'm
Like
saying?
if
And
you're
a lot
going
of people have been programmed like that by like black people. Black people have a lot of bad programming. You know, we were told things like, well, child, long as I got my rent and my bills paid, I'm good. That was bad thinking. How come I can't have my rent and
yeah,
bills paid and have $300,000 or $400,000 cash in the bank? So bad
right.
teachings, they will trickle down and affect us. You know what I'm saying? They will. It's what we were taught. You know
And
what I'm saying?
my father put a stopgap to that. Like if you're going to talk about something, and if you don't know, then you don't know. You go and research, and then you
I
come
agree
back
with
to the
that.
argument. Just
I agree
just
with that.
because you had a conversation, because I don't look at this conversation that we're having as winning or losing.
I agree.
First of all, I'm not going in here to throw up dukes, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I
If I
respect that.
found something or if I don't agree with something, I'm going to look it up, and then I'm going to come back, and then we're going to have another discussion. The
I
problem
respect
is
that.
we don't have discussions anymore.
I respect that. Let me read a couple of these super chats real quick. Somebody done.
One of these days, I
Shout
got to
out to
get you a
the
super
brother,
chat.
my brother AJ said a 20 ball to move away from politics. These are the more important, the better shows to me. When two people can have a discussion, and enlighten each other on things that one might not have known. I think these are very important discussions. She's been up here. She hasn't been name calling. She's not trying to be right. I'm not trying to be right. I'm not name calling. These are good conversations for other people to see who may be stuck in those political gang wars that say, oh, we can have conversations without, chewing each other's necks off and name calling. These are the conversations that we need to actually learn how to be more communicative about. Shout out to my brother, shout out to Miss Brenda over here supporting the show. Can we please get back to the show? She's not talking about nothing beneficial. I beg to differ. There's good conversation taking place. Shout out to Ruth over here supporting the show, my girl. Northtown in the building, rocking out with us. One thing that I actually take delight in, is having conversations because, we are generations removed away from certain truths, right? So there are some whites who they benefit significantly from hearing us hold these conversations. Like I've had whites up here and I've explained to them the things that, I take up issue with about the black community and the things that I think that white people are failing in, things, the schools getting popped up, churches getting popped up, right? And what I've come to understand is when that conversation is had, that person can play as crazy as they want to. But when they leave here, they leave with different information than what they had. And I think that's important.
I think it's kind of sad that someone said that I wasn't talking about anything important when the importance of this whole thing was the conversation to be had.
I agree. I think it was an important conversation. But before you go, I got a couple of more questions for you.
Okay.
Do you support the feminism movement? And
No.
I'm not going to talk about the legal aspect. I'm talking about what you're seeing today, how women have taken hold to them.
No.
It's destroying communities and
No.
families. It's destroying communities and families.
If anything, it's enslaving.
I agree.
It's enslaving because the feminism that is going on right now, you're enslaving yourself to the flesh.
I agree.
When you are not of a higher vibrational person, you are a slave to your own flesh. You're not going to get past that. And I feel bad for these women, especially like OF models, because they're going to wake up and they're going to be 30 and 35 and they're not going to have a husband and they're not going to have any children. And then they're going to hit that wall. And I mean,
Hey, she talking that talk over here.
they're hitting the wall. And that again is that divisive demonic spirit between the sexes that's going on. It's not empowering. You're walking out here like, did you hear about what they did with Houston at the rodeo? How these girls were out here with the shorts half dressed and stuff like that. Like,
It's bad.
no high value man is going to want that. And they don't even understand what a high value man is.
Listen, the majority of women who are talking about a high value man, they don't even qualify for one. The average woman qualifies for an average man, which here's the crazy part. There's nothing wrong with being an average man. Average men are amazing. They keep this society together. They are doing the construction, right? They are doing the
Right.
principal work. They are building bridges. They're building skyscrapers. They are fixing things in your house that break. But what the feminist movement did, it gave women a different sense of empowerment. The empowerment that the feminist movement did to women, it didn't say, okay, great, now we both have rights to work. It didn't say that. What the feminist movement of empowering women did was this: I got jobs. I can earn more money than him. I can be better than him. I can compete with him. The Bible says a house divided cannot stand. Why the hell
You
are you?
cannot stand. I don't want to compete with you. As a matter of fact, I've been in the situation where I was the breadwinner and my husband couldn't get a job because of his record. Ladies, I can tell you that's not fun. You guys want all the power of being a man, but you don't want the mantle that comes with it.
I swear.
And there is a mantle that comes with that. I experienced it. The Lord put me in a situation where I had to provide for everything for 2 years. No help, no support, nothing, just like a man. And let's just say, I don't think you women understand what men go through. I don't think you do.
Let me ask you this, because I support this. I fully promote women being open to dating men who are down on their luck, right? Men who might not have a job right now. You know why? Because they do it in every other damn community. In our community, when black men are down on their luck, the black women make fun of them. You don't know you don't know what happened to land him at this place that he was at. Like you, your husband is a felon. Does that make him a piece of shit?
No.
No, he needs a good counterpart.
We were actually homeless together for 2 years, and we lost our firstborn son together at 21 weeks.
Sorry to hear about that.
And that was when we were in our 30s, and we're trying again, even though I'm 47, but we're trying again. It took me a while to get over that. But if you're not willing to lay down your life for your man, then why are you in a relationship? Because most men, when they get in a relationship with a woman that they love, you do understand that every day he goes out the door, he is laying down his life for you.
I agree. It's just something, like white women introduced African American women to feminism. And
yes, they did. I was going to say something about that.
And black women, here's the crazy part about black women. In order to compete and overthrow and be better than their men, black women took the mantle of feminism stronger than white women did. White women started going back home to their men after they got the right to vote, after they got the right to work. After feminism gave them the things that they wanted, they went back home to their men. Now here African American women are to this day. I don't need no man, independent woman. I pay all my bills by myself. Yeah, that's where you're ignorant. You think it's smarter to pay all your bills by yourself or have a partner who's contributing some way to the household?
It's like you said earlier, you're paying all your bills by yourself, all that independence, but you don't have any savings.
Yeah, exactly.
And on top of that, you being an independent woman, there is a disparity between black women and white women with that, because white women, when they're strong and independent, they still have their parents and their friends that help them out.
That's what I tell them all the time. These people are in people's wheels. These people are being left in states. You can't do what they can do.
You can't, and there definitely is a racial disparity with that. You don't have mom to call on to send you $500 to
Yeah,
help you pay your phone
yeah,
bill or help you with your rent. You have most of these independent black women, these strong black women, they don't have a support system.
I agree. And so
And
therefore, we
because
can't
they
do what they
think
can do. Look,
it's really sad. I didn't have a real support system, but again, because of military training, you learn how to survive on lots of things.
right, right.
But but outside of that, I bet you if I hadn't went into the Marines and when I was 18, I could possibly have been in the same boat as a lot of these. Well, probably not, because again, I have my dad and my mom.
Right. That's
But
very important.
if I grew up the way a lot of these women did, oh my goodness, that's not surviving, that's struggling at this point.
I agree.
And to
That's how
see
people grow up with that psychological damage and dysfunction, growing up inside of a sense of urgency, lack of necessities. And it can't get broke. Farrakhan said, the Honorable Farrakhan, Minister Farrakhan said, a nation can rise no higher than its women. And that's true. And look at the state of our women today. They're terrible. Look at
yeah.
Jasmine Crockett. She didn't even come from an impoverished background, yet she desired to be like the broken ratchet girls, and it messed up her political career. If Jasmine Crockett behaved like her upbringing, she would have gotten further in politics. But she wanted to act ghetto. She wanted to do dances in Capitol Hill. They not like us. They not like us. You resemble a nigga is what you resemble. No one
Yeah.
wants to see that.
Yeah.
No one can
No.
put any great deal of trust in you, and you're acting like a nigga.
And the thing of it is, what's so disgusting about that, and not to get back into politics, but I just find it always funny that when the left want to present black people, they bring out the most ratchet, the
I agree
worst
with that. I agree with that.
representatives for us. Like Megan the Stallion, Cardi B, that's the best you could get.
I agree.
Maya Angelou, when she was alive, why didn't you guys call on her or call
And listen,
Angela Bassett? Like,
I agree. Cool reviews.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Oh man, life is amazing, man. Tell me how you feeling.
Hey, man, I'm feeling good, man. I seen you on live and said, man, let me pull up
You already know what it is, man.
and see what the topic is and see if I can't get in a little trouble.
That's my guy. Listen, let me ask you something, man. In my personal beliefs, man, I believe it's biblical. I believe it's spiritual, more spiritual than anything. I believe it's a curse, to be quite honest. Is it mind blowing to you, man, that is it mind blowing to you that a group of people could be convinced that it's better for them to be single and pay all of their bills on their own, opposed to getting married and having someone to take on 50%, if not more, of all life burdens with you? Is it mind-blowing to you that black women have taken on this mindset? Like, it's almost, if you listen to them and stuff on social media, it's almost like they think it makes sense to them. Like, no, I pay all my bills on my own. Like, that's the smarter route to go. Is it mind-blowing to you that they were able to be persuaded to fall for that?
It's not mind-blowing at all when you look at their ego. When you look at the ego of the black woman, it's never been checked. And
Right.
it's consistently has always been fed. And it's almost like a child, that you just give them whatever they want.
I
Tell
agree.
them that they're great. You don't have to eat any vegetables. You can eat ice cream and cake.
Right.
And don't worry
Right.
about anything.
Or else you're going to have to
And
deal with a whole lot of kicking and screaming.
so
or worse, they're being told that they are owed that ice cream and they're owed those treats and they're owed all of those things.
Go ahead, Cool Reviews.
And so the thing is, economically, we gotta look at economics. We gotta look at the big picture. Why wouldn't I convince them of that? If I'm controlling the resources,
Right.
now
100%.
I have a whole new economic base. I have
Yep.
women that will work 2 jobs,
Yep.
buy a home and cars and travel all by themselves.
Yep.
Which means they'll be working twice as hard and paying even more taxes and getting in more debt than the women of old that came before them.
Yeah.
And they would think actually that it's freedom, where actually is down the line, it's actually debt, and it's actually they're gonna end off better off. I mean, worse off than they ever been.
100%.
Just like the kid that's happy with eating ice cream and cake all the time.
He
They're
got a
happy in the
belly ache
moment.
coming. You got a belly ache coming.
That belly ache. Winter is coming. How many black women have lost jobs over the last year?
Over 300,000.
Winter is coming.
It's here. The snow is on the ground. Listen, they say by 2030, 40% of women will be single and childless. We know a significant portion of that is African American women. We know that. This has been a two-income society for the last 50 years, meaning in order to be able to meet basic necessities and things like that, it requires 2 incomes according to what the average African American man makes and what the average African American woman makes. It is better when we're together. But these goofballs have been tricked into going against their own kind. And listen, they're not showing any signs of slowing up. It's like they still don't see that it wasn't a good move to betray black men. They still don't see that, no, we are better together. And I'm going to tell you why, bro. I'm going to tell you why that they're doing this. Because they like busting nuts. When you get in a relationship, you got a 10-man roster, but 3 of them lay it down good in the bed. When you get in a relationship, you have to abandon those guys. And they can't do that. Listen, when you get in a relationship, there's not no going to the club and hanging out and coming back in whenever you get ready to. See, there's a lot of little perks that they get from being these independent women. But like you said, those perks are not sustainable throughout a long duration of time. The boogeyman comes at the end of the decision to play with those perks beyond what you were supposed to. And that's what they're dealing with. They're dealing with, hey, you see something? It goes back to what Yvonne said. Miss Yvonne said, like, if you look in the context of African American women and how it just seems like they're big kids and they're doing whatever they want to do, we're seeing it real time, but repercussions come. You can't do that long term without repercussions. And that's why we're seeing them in the state that we're seeing them in. Because women need, especially women who are active, going out and things like that, they need somebody in their life. Hey, babe, that's not a smart move right there. Why do you think a lot of these women are getting trains ran on them? Why do you think it's getting so difficult to find out who the father of a child is? It's because they're out here partying like teenagers. But when there's a man in place, you don't even think that you can come in at 3 a.m. You don't think you can. So what they're really fighting for is more and more freedom, like children, to be able to do a lot more of the things that none of us really should be doing, right? And
I have an interesting question for you.
Hold on. They're destroying.
I'll let you make your point, but I got an interesting question.
They're
Yeah.
destroying themselves. And if you open up your eyes, you look on social media, you look for yourself, and you see what society is saying about African American women, one could argue they've already destroyed themselves. Their reputations are terrible. I wouldn't want a reputation like African American women have for nothing, bro. I wouldn't want that. So they've already destroyed themselves. Go ahead, Miss Yvonne.
My question is, when feminism came to our door, do you believe that it was another tool of systemic racism against the Black community?
No. I believe we give white America too much credit. I believe I think even the housing projects, I think that was something that happened that over time they found could be utilized as a massive nuke bomb to the Black community. Because you have to think about it. I'm an inventor. And I'm not just an investor, I'm an inventor. I build things from scratch. And there's a lot of things like the tech-assisted dog harness that I built. Some of those things, when you build them, you can't see that far ahead of line that they will do this or do that or do that. Just like when you build certain antidotes and things like that, like the COVID vaccines. It takes time to see the side effects to that stuff. I don't think that white people built that and said this to themselves. If we give them housing projects, because for one, they would have had to know how African American community was going to respond to housing projects. You can't know something like that, right? So when they built the housing projects, my personal belief, I agree with how they started it. I don't believe that if this woman gets to stay in here rent free, I don't believe a man should be able to live with her. You know why? If there's an able-bodied man living with you, then you guys shouldn't even qualify for this housing project because he should be able to afford to pay rent somewhere or get you close enough to it, something. But I believe that over a sustained period of time, they sit back and they observed and they saw that that thing could be used as a massive weapon to divide black men and black women, and then they put the foot on the gas pedal. Go ahead.
Okay, so because
Go ahead,
Because
Cool.
and the reason why I believe he's absolutely right, the whole system was available to everybody. It
Exactly.
wasn't just to us.
Exactly.
It was available to
right,
everybody. But our women chose to actually separate
Yep.
from the men
Yep.
and take the assistance and go beyond.
Even to this
But
day.
to this day,
yeah,
look at it. Every race
yeah.
of people was in a project together. Every race of people had everything that we say happened to us happened to everybody else. When it comes to the rug epidemic, when it comes to food stamps, Section 8 welfare,
They just didn't take it to the
Hispanics,
extent
everybody.
that black women took it to. Black women were trying to live in
Okay,
housing projects for like 15 years. Housing projects is
okay.
supposed to be a stepping stone when you're on hard times to get you through until you get back on your feet. I
The white
personally know
people were
people,
moving out of the projects.
I personally know generations that were raised in housing projects after granny passed on because it's what's being taught. But other races of people aren't doing that. It's our women who have a particular way of viewing things from a lens of pure, uncut selfishness. They will sacrifice anything to get the things that they desire, even their children. Even their children.
So basically, white people moved into the projects. They had projects, but they're the ones that are moving out. Latinos, the same thing, and we were the ones that stayed.
We stayed because she's selfish. And even when
Oh
we
my God.
rights movement, which I do believe was a mistake looking back at it, when the black men and the black community was fighting for rights for everybody, black women started a movement called the womanist movement. Only after the feminist movement wouldn't allow them to be a part of it, they separated themselves from us and started their own movement. This is where you get movies like The Color Purple.
Yep.
You get people like Maya Angelou, who was actually married to a YT man. A lot of people don't know that. Maya Angelou was
Yes, she
married.
was.
You know, see, black women started the womanist movement. I always ask people, what movement did black men start strictly for black men?
Black men
And
have
then
always
ask,
been about the black community, man.
yes. And what movement have black women started to benefit black men or children to be exact?
100%.
They always separate themselves from us.
I agree. You disagree, Mr. Vaughn?
No. I agree. I'm shaking my head because I've heard of the concept of I know the womanism he's talking about because I forgot the lecturer's name, but she talked about African womanism. And what she brought up was when the white feminists came to black women about this feminism thing, we didn't have, as black women back then, when we had nuclear families, had this mindset to compete with our men. It was always a team effort.
100.
It was always we didn't have the same grievances with our men the same way white women had grievances with their men. So when I hear about the womanism movement, I did not realize that that was another separate movement because the one that I knew about was the African womanism movement, which is keeping the traditional African nuclear family culture alive by being teammates with your man, not competing with them, have your children, all the things.
Listen,
And now there's a womanism movement that was separate after that.
Black women have been starting these separate movements. They just tried to take on the 4B movement on us like what, 3 years ago. Like, we don't give a damn, but I'm saying black women are in direct. We don't need white supremacy anymore. African American women embody it. They're the only race of women who are launching consistent attacks of trying to outdo their counterpart men instead of merge with them. They say it out loud. I'm independent. I don't need no man. They're the only group of women that's running around here putting it into action. There's some white women who are saying it and stuff, but they're married.
And they still have their husbands and they still have their family and they still have their high income.
Exactly.
They're making money, like they are making money off of our brokenness hand over
Shout out to
fist.
Through the Fire podcast with the 20 ball rocking out with us. You already know what it is. Through the Fire said it was a black woman who sued the United States for the right to marry a white man. No black man ever took this country to court for the right to marry a white woman. They have never been our women since slavery. That's deep. That's hurtful. That's hurtful. But listen, I'll tell you the truth. If we can acknowledge Cool Reviews that we know what white supremacy is. We've experienced it. We understand the elements of white supremacy, right?
Yep.
All we have to do is look back at what we recognize to be white supremacy and see if any things that African American women are doing today, how they move, resemble what we know to be white supremacy. Yes. They even go so far as to say, I wish you would, your black ass would be in jail. All of that stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to know who a group of people belong to, if you want to know who a woman belongs to, look at who provides her food, welfare. Look at who provides her shelter, Section 8.
Yeah.
Look who provides her protection. I wish you would, your black ass would be in jail. African American women divorced black men and married the American government. It's plain for all to see. Charlie Kirk said that, and I don't even agree with all of his stuff. Charlie Kirk said that.
Yeah.
ZF.
He brought up statistics too. Wow.
ZF. Talk to me, man. Tell me how you feeling, my brother.
Oh, let's see. The Dodgers are winning. Dave Roberts is about to get his 1,000th win. LeBron is leaving the Lakers. I got Scott.
My man. What you got for me?
Oh, I just came up to start shit. You know what I do.
Let's see, population. Shout out to Derek over here in this situation.
Even when we talk about YT supremacy, what race of women has pushed A being their own sons?
Crazy.
Right, I was going there.
Crazy.
That's why they don't.
Wait.
Hold on, Mr. Vaughn. Hold on, everybody, one at a time. I'm gonna have them elaborate to you on that. Go ahead. I'm coming to you next, ZF. Cool Reviews. Tell her what you mean by that.
No, it was a thing on this app as well as Clubhouse where you had groups of BLK women.
Listen, he's talking about what's her name, ZF? Not Ken. What's her name? Cynthia G.
Cynthia G. But it's even after her.
Okay.
It's groups of BLK women that was saying if you were pregnant with a male black child to go AB.
Yep. Go to the clinic and get that fetus sucked out of you. This is our women's talk.
Not the racist.
See, and listen, if you look at it in the context in which the brother just said it, it sounds like our enemy is black women. Listen to this. Tell me if I'm wrong. Imagine our women say, if you get pregnant and you find out that it's a male child, get it sucked out of you. You think she sounds like an ally to black men? No. That sounds like somebody. Hold on. That sounds like somebody who's in direct war with us.
Dude, ahead, I did not know that. Yeah. I did not know that.
ZF, go ahead.
Check this. Yeah, so check this out.
Before they take a breath, right? ain't just sitting back like
on autopilot.
We ain't gotta do shit.
Oh my God.
Autopilot.
And then for the ones that do have the kids, right? You spend your prime, most productive years when you could have big choices. You spend them having Gloctavius's babies, then turn around and want Terrence with the 401k to come in and raise them little motherfuckers.
Yeah.
When he turned 32, right? How are you a friend, an ally to that man coming in with that type of shit?
100%.
If he wants a kid, you are literally carrying Gloctavius's DNA in you. Now you diluting his shit.
I agree.
Oh my God. Are you talking about that study?
Give me a second. Through the Fire podcast over here showing out, supporting the show with the 5 ball. Name the group that is a friend or ally to black men. See, when you start asking questions like that, man, it gets. Hold on, ZF. Hold on, ZF. When you start making questions like this, name the group that is a friend or ally to black men. When you start asking questions like that, it kind of can get heartbreaking when you assess the truth. Like, black men are pretty much out here on their own, if you want to know the truth. Go ahead, ZF.
So then, I'm saying, when you hit about 29, 30, you run to the church house and start praying for a good man, right? Praying for God to send you a good man. If he's so good, why would God send him to you?
100%.
Like, why would God punish that man if he's good?
I agree.
So, I'm saying, like, this is, and then when it doesn't happen, because it doesn't happen for most of you blame us. Because
you weigh 300 pounds.
Right.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen.
And you the one made all these badass choices.
Hey, let me interrupt you really quick. I'm going to give you the microphone. I'm going to give you the mic right back. Listen, the reason I brought that up is, did you guys, I know most of you guys had, did you see that woman? I don't know, what show was she on? I think maybe Dr. Oz. This woman said, and listen, she didn't smile. I don't think she was joking. She said the reason why the average African-American woman weighs 186 pounds more, diets are racist. Did anyone see that?
Yes. Yes.
It went she was on a syndicated talk show. And listen, here and there in the background, you hear other black women saying, "Say it, girl."
I saw that.
Go ahead, ZF. You can finish up.
Calorie deficits are racist now?
Yeah. Hey, I'm telling you.
Yeah, they actually say weight loss is racist. Dieting is racist. Taking Ozempic is racist. Like, this is a thing. It's a thing that's happened. It's real. And yes, I am still flabbergasted. And that's been going around for what, 2-3 years now? And then all the black women got mad at Lizzo when she started losing weight. They got mad at her. She was all about the body positivity movement and shit, and she started losing weight. Now all of a sudden she's a traitor.
I read about that.
You read about that shit? Yes. Yes. That was a thing.
I just came in to give my 2 cents, man. And the question you asked is a really legitimate question, because one thing we understand as black men, we literally have no allies. Even when we look at the BLK woman, the only time she comes to our rescue or really want to help us is after we're already underground.
Yep.
And a lot of times that's just, we see what they did to the BLM movement or an organization where they pretty much took all the money off the backs of unalive black men. A movement that was started by black men, unfortunately, but it's sad we don't have any allies. And I think when we look at a lot of BLK men, hey, people may get mad.
What's wrong with that?
Look, there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm a woman saying that.
Man, you better
You're
go.
going to go where you are accepted. You're going to go where you're appreciated. And if you're not appreciated by your own women here, go get your. The Lord said, when a man findeth a wife, he findeth a good thing.
Gotta be a wife.
And if that means you have to go out of the country to get the good thing, then you do that.
But you know, I just want to make it clear. It's not even about the women. It's actually for once in life you feel free.
100%.
You actually feel free to just be alive.
I agree.
The women is a bonus.
I agree with that.
But in America, the black
Now
man,
listen, those are the type of passport bros that I respect. Like if you just socially awkward, you don't do well with women, you shy, and now I want to go to Colombia where a girl will accept me even when I'm in my lowest, and I don't like that. Nigga, do what you need to do and do work so you're not socially awkward no more. So you are more confident, and then you'll be able to get a woman even over here. But even if you still don't want a woman over here and you want the lifestyle over there in Colombia, now when you go over there and you're not shy and awkward and things like that, it'll be, to those women across seas, it'll be Superman landing from the sky.
it's a fact. And you can walk as a black man when we're born with a heaviness on our back. We learn young we don't have any allies.
Better know it, man.
When you go to places like Thailand and other places, and now you get that weight off of your back, you can wake up and walk the streets at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning just to have a walk and get some fresh air, and nobody's going to bother you. Nobody's going to profile you. Nobody is going to treat you like you are a monster or a criminal. That's a wonderful. And yes, just like go back to the question he asked, as a black man in America, we have no allies.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on real quick, bro. Yvonne, is that you?
I'm here. The beeping? No, that's not me.
Okay.
I'm quiet as a mouse.
Mic check. Mic check. Yeah, that's feedback through her. Okay. Okay. Zia.
Mr. Prince.
Talk to me.
All right, so check this out, right? If you really think that, because even there's always black men, I love big women, that's because they don't have a choice. Go somewhere where you got a choice.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
See, women like, oh, I'm big and men are in my DMs. That's because they ain't got no choice. When men have a choice, less than 10% go for big women. Way less. But if you ain't got a choice, and that's all the fuck you got, then you know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you this because I've seen it, right? When you get to the level where you have a choice of women, I promise you ain't gonna chase a big bag. Promise
you. You know what? Here's one thing that I will say. I tell people this. That's factual. But if you want to increase, I'm going to tell all of the ladies this. See, here's the issue. I'm giving you the microphone right back. See, here's the issue with black women. Black women want us to accept them big, multiple children by multiple men, crazy, out of this world body count, loud, masculine. See, you can have a couple of flaws, but you can't just be completely damaged and try to convince a man to accept that. If you're going to be big, you better be nice. You better be polite. You better be feminine. You better know how to cater to a man. You better know how to be a good human being. But that's not what we get from black women. Black women think they can be all of those things and convince black men to accept it. But when we swing through at 3 o'clock in the morning, bang, 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 daddy, bang, 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 daddy, bang, and that's all we want, those are the repercussions of you not listening to us when we tell you what we desire out of a woman. Now, most men ain't gonna turn down no poontang. Even a 300-pound woman, a man will find a use for her for about 45 minutes. But if you seriously desire something tangible, you guys got to learn how to be nice, because most black women aren't nice. And I will say some of it is due to all that they've been through, but the late, great Kevin Samuel said something that cannot be defeated. The world does not owe you or I any understanding. Either perform or get judged for the lack thereof. Go ahead, ZF.
Yeah, so you want to come with all this bullshit that a man's supposed to accept when for 90% of y'all, if you take cheeks off the table, you ain't got nothing to offer. You gonna find out what it really
100%.
is. Men are not gonna stop doing the work. And I know it's tomorrow's July 1st, but baby, it's about to get cold outside.
It's cold, brother. Some of them got frostbite. Listen, ZF, and here's what I'm talking about. You know what nobody wants to talk about? Nobody talks about this epidemic of women that we're seeing on social media who are very, very apparently single. Brother, that is the winter. These people haven't been single for 6 months. Many people been single for several years, man. And then the last person that they was dealing with, he was swinging through 3 a.m. like 3 times a month. Winter has already arrived, brother. And a lot of women are succumbing to frostbite. Winter don't have to come in the form of you're homeless and all of that. Winter is here because you have hit the wall to where now that you're ready for a man and you've even approached a few, nobody is looking at you on that serious level. That's frostbite, brother, if you ask me.
Absolutely. And the crazy part is they circle back and try to find a way to blame us or say they single by choice.
Yeah.
No, you ain't single by choice. You single by circumstances of your choice.
100%.
Miss me with that bullshit.
100%. Shout out to my girl Sweets down there rocking out with.
I started the trouble. I'm going to start for tonight. Hey, tap the motherfucking screen, though, because we're still less than halfway to the show go.
My brother.
So tap the screen, share the show, all that, repost, and let's, for real, let's power tap quick, because this show's been on for over 2 hours, and we are less than halfway to the show go. So let's power tap, get the lights up, get more people in here for the end of the show. And with that, be safe, stay dangerous.
My brother. Cool reviews. You got anything else for me?
Hey, man, no, that's about it, man. Hey, I appreciate you letting me up, man. I think I'm finna, turn it in myself.
My brother, man. You already know what it is. You be cool.
All right, appreciate it.
Miss Yvonne, you got any last words for me? Oh, hold on. Let me unmute you. Hold on. Yeah, you had that buzz going on in the back of the thing.
I didn't even know that it was me feedbacking because I'm on my Bluetooth in my living room and we don't have smoke alarm. No, but I'm just mind blown that there are Black women that are preaching and supporting our own genocide. And I have to be honest, I'm like, I know Black people, I've been in their culture and things like that. But when I hear things like this, I feel such an outsider because a lot of these things have never even crossed my mind to even think that way.
Appreciate that from you. Like, I really appreciate it. Like that's why I say conversations like this are the most important conversations, because it's not about getting someone to go to your side or something like that. If you cause one person to think about things that they haven't thought about, that's huge. That's huge. That's where, we can, because see, I have a great deal of empathy for African Americans. I know what they've been through. But I'll also say this. If you can put some rims on that car, if you know how to go out and buy all of these amazing clothes, you know how to keep yourself looking fresh, then as far as I'm concerned, you're of a capable mind to where you can go get a job and be a productive member of society. The only people who
Right.
are the ones who suffer from psychological damage and dysfunction, the people who are out here popping each other in broad daylight. We know that there's something wrong with them for you to even be the type who will go take somebody's life in the middle of the street. We know there's something wrong with that individual. So me, I don't even think a lot of individuals like that can help themselves. I think they're broken and damaged, raised without fathers. I've had stories of people. I just came up with the dopest. The coolest story I ever, is an unfortunate story, but the coolest story, his name was Jomo or Jimbo. In that time where I was incarcerated, this brother became my bunkie, and he told me about his life from the age of 8 years old on up until then, and it was crazy. I'm like, so man, you were walking the streets at like 10 years old and staying in abandoned houses, and how you got money to eat was some of the homeboys who used to fight pit bulls would pay you to water their dogs and feed them. Like, see, this is what I'm telling you, sweetie. Some people grew up in a way to where there's some damage up here. And that's what we got to do. We got to be more open-minded to what other people have been through, because a lot of times people aren't just bad people. What you're seeing out of them is bad circumstances that they grew up in that have manifested in the form of dysfunction.
Yeah, there's a lot of dysfunction, and we don't talk about that's another thing that we don't talk about is the mental health of the Black community.
Listen,
Nobody really wants to talk about the mental illness.
I have a great deal of empathy for Black women. I know what would happen. The epidemic of African American women raising kids by themselves, two or three children by two or three different men. You got to find a way to make sure each of them eat every night. You got to find a way to make sure that when you at work, you can somehow slip away to go to the PTA meeting. You got to find a way to come home, clean up, come home, wash clothes, come home, cook, come home, wash dishes. That is a lot, which is why God assigned that task for two people. But now here's where I hold Black women accountable. All that you're going through, you deserve most of it, because it is you who are running around making yourself unappealing to the men who could take 50% of the birds off of it. You want to be out getting your back busted on a regular, right? But when you're doing these things, you're making yourself unsuitable for any quality man to view as a worthy investment. So all of the damage that you're doing to yourself in society, it's making sure that you guys remain single mothers, remain having to do 100% of the load. So we can't blame anybody but you. You're doing it to yourself. The reason we know is because you have multiple children by multiple men. You can't blame that on somebody else. Hey, listen, Mr.
No, you can't.
I appreciate you coming up rocking with me. We're about to get up out of here. We're going to do
Okay, and like I said, hopefully let's stay in touch so we can debate again. And I hope I didn't ruin your view count by being on here. I'm not sure if people liked our conversation, but I enjoyed it.
an enlightened conversation. We're going to do it again. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Already did.
All right. I appreciate
All
you.
right. Well, you take care. It was nice talking to you.
Likewise. God dog it. What's this doing? What that was about. Where are my show's contributors at? We have not had one. We have met our nightly goal over here on, I think, on YouTube. Listen, shout out to
I'll make you famous.
my day ones and my stay ones over here for keeping it going on the super chats. We weren't even supposed to have a show. If there's anybody who has any questions pertaining to dating, relationships, or if you have disagreements about what you know my philosophies and ideologies are, come on up. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, come on up. Come on up. Yeah, I think we really are going to start. I don't see any need to keep doing Facebook. Lately, there's been a few people in here on Facebook. Come on up. Brother Twan. Twan. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Oh, shit. I didn't even drop any long form content on YouTube today. Yeah, here you come real quick. I gotta hurry up. God dang. Hey, what's going on, good brother?
What's up? So, I need some advice. Like, I'm 23, so I'm young. I just need some, some advice, like, choose the right woman and stuff.
Ooh, how you currently going? Are you in a relationship now?
No, sir. I'm like focused on myself right now. Like,
You've been up here before, ain't you?
Yes, sir. I've been up here.
You still hate people?
Oh, no, that's not me.
Okay. So listen, let me ask you this. Here's how an easy way to get to the nitty gritty of how to get what you want. If you can name off of the top of your head what you desire in a woman, what are the things?
Oh, like what I desire?
Yeah, what do you desire in a woman? If God planted a woman in your hands right now, what attributes would she have in her that you would like?
For one, self-respect.
Right.
Loyalty. And, integrity. Because, a lot of people don't have integrity. Like, that means, like, they don't do the right things without nobody watching.
I agree.
Yeah.
What state do you live in?
I stay in Mississippi.
Oh, Lord have mercy. God have mercy. But I mean, in the black community alone, there's 2.5 million more women than there are men. So men still have the significant advantage. But in Mississippi, okay, so let me ask you this. Are you the type of man who, if she's feminine, if she's respectful, if she's fit, you would deal with a woman who's a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10, she's average looking? Or do you have to have a very attractive woman?
To me, it don't really matter. Because, a female can be ugly. Her attitude can be bad. A female can look good. Her attitude, you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So, it really don't matter about the looks. It just matter about, the soul. Like,
I agree.
Inside.
I agree with that. And see, it's people like that who can manage long-term relationships, because usually the things that cause relationships to mess up is somebody looking on the other side of the fence to see if the grass is greener because they think that they can do better than their partner. And that's what usually messes people up. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is being in a relationship to you right now?
Right now, I'd say a 4. Because, because I can, it's like I'm trying to work on myself, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't, when you focus on, like, doing what you got to do, like, relationship don't need to be the number one thing. Number one thing, be God and, what you're trying to accomplish and stuff. So that's what I say. I understand this, like, okay, like, I feel like if some females don't like patience, I feel like, I don't need to be with them. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you can see the red flags when they, when they're impatient. When they don't come on their time. So you can, you can see it.
I agree. Do you have your life plan put together? Like me, for instance, I'll give you an example. I kind of knew before I came to California, I knew what things were really important to me. I knew that based on who I am, California is most suitable for me. And I come from a place where nobody ever really leaves. You know what I mean? Not like that anyway. Something, but not like that. A small place. So do you have, at 23 you probably don't, but do you have any pieces of the puzzle that you've already written down as it pertains to how you desire your life to turn out? Do you know what location you're going to be in for the rest of your life? Do you know whether you're going to move? Do you know what job you plan on having for the rest of your life?
Yes, I can say, like, for a location, thought about Houston because you know, I major in cybersecurity, so you know what I'm saying, it's my major. I major in cybersecurity.
That's a good major to have. That's a good major to have. I'm glad you didn't do stuff like in basketball. You trying to be a rapper? Craziness, man. Cybersecurity is going to be around, even though AI is coming for a lot of these jobs. Cybersecurity is entangled with that. You know what I mean? So you'll be around a lot longer than a lot of other people. But here's what I would advise you to do. Are you on any like Facebook dating or anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay, here's the thing that's cool about Facebook dating and things like that. You, on your off days when you're, you know, you done knocked out a significant portion of today's workload and things like that, imagine you not having to go out, go here to make sure that you're available and meeting women. You don't have to go to the club. You don't have to do none of the things that typically take a lot of our time away from our goals, right? But just so happen, you taking a little 15-minute break and you just trying to scroll on Facebook dating and you see that 10 women have matched you. See, that way it's not inconveniencing you or taking away from what your goal is. You can just scroll, decide whether or not you want to give her your number, decide how far it's going to go, and you didn't use any of the time that was required to keep on in your degree or to keep on in your field right now. Well, I agree with you on this. I believe men are called up on by God Almighty first to get inside of their purpose, to do all of the things that men are required to do to turn ourselves into men, right? Because until you start getting conscious of becoming a man, you won't be adequate when you do run up on the relationship. Relationships require a lot of man work. But once you have already started generating you an income and things like that, a woman will be able to see value in you. Because listen, let's get this straight. There's a thin line between women being good. I tell people, be careful using that word gold digger, because a lot of times it's not a woman being a gold digger. A lot of times it's a woman who is impressed with what a man has done with his life. You see what I'm saying? So if you've already done that and then you put yourself out on the dating market, man, you're going to be about 3 or 4 times as valuable as the average man. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because my whole life, I always had my mom and my dad. You know, they married. They've been married for like 25 years.
Hey,
so they always told me, you don't need, like, you know what I'm saying? You need to be in a relationship right now. You know, just figure out, like, what you want to do in life. Then it'll come to you. You ain't got to force it. It'll come to you.
Listen, I want to say something to you guys. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube, all live right now. I want to say something to you guys. I've done this. Like some of you who have been rocking with the show for the 4 years we've been on, you know what I'm about to do. I've said this over and over again, how beneficial it is to have at least, bare minimum, have your father in your life. But when you're raised in a 2-parent household, I want you guys to listen to how he articulates himself. We've told you guys for years how important it is that kids, especially the boys and the girls, be raised, if not in a 2-parent household, bare minimum, they must have a relationship with their father. Because if you listen to this young brother, he's already told you. There's things that his mom and dad told him. Whereas when you're raised by a single parent mom, you're raised in a sense of urgency and all of that things, there's a lot of teachings that you're going to miss, that you're going to have to go out there and learn through trial and error. And sometimes trial and error could mean life or death. So yeah, man, I want you to be really, really grateful, man, of how you were raised. Because, man, without the father and stuff, it's brutal, man. I was raised without my father. I was raised like that, man. And you will later on, you will find out that you have deficiencies. You'll have insecurities and things like that you'll have to find out about as you get older. And then once you find out about them, you'll have to start doing things to fix yourself. So what you did, and yeah, man, you should really, man, honor your mom and dad, because they saved you a lifetime of therapy, man.
Yeah,
that's real stuff.
Yeah, because like when I was younger, I mean, like now, you know, I'm older, so I look back at it. You know how you a kid, like, you don't know what's going on. Like sometimes you don't see it. Like
right.
You know, your parents be like, you selfish, like you don't see it. But it's like when you get older, it's
you
like
don't
you
see
it. It's like you see it, like spoiled. Like, it's like you see it.
No doubt about it.
It's like when you by yourself, you by your own, then you realize like you ain't no boy no more. You a whole man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
When you by yourself, like you facing adversity, that's when like boys turn to men.
100%.
When they facing adversity.
100%.
So, my mama, she always been hard on me. My dad, he been hard on me too, but I can't say like my mama been way more hard on me. My dad, he just showed me like how to be a gentleman and stuff, and stay out of trouble and stuff like that.
No doubt about it.
Yes, sir.
No doubt about it. I'm right with you, man. Just, man, make sure that you always in gratitude, man, about how you were raised, because a lot of African American people, it's not really their fault of how they were raised or whatever, but they're messed up, man. The boy that took Nipsey Hussle's life, he did it in broad daylight and didn't even try to get away with it. Do you know how messed up you have to be to come to a place where you say, I'm okay if I spend the rest of my life in prison? Man, you're messed up.
Yeah, then my dad always told me like no matter how like something bad happens to you, like don't crash out, like don't get over mad, like
100%.
Just you just gotta take it to the chin, like just it is what it is, now it's time to move on.
No doubt about it. Hey man, listen, we're not live every day on sometimes they kick us off for 7 days, but my main core panel is YouTube. You guys need to make sure that you follow us on YouTube, because that's how we get down every day. Static.
Hey, how's it going, man? Appreciate you letting me in. But yeah, you right, YouTube. I follow you strong on YouTube, bro.
My brother.
I'm not lying. Your shit. I'll send them clips to my sister. We be debating back and forth. Hey, but look, you help me with my deliverance and how to work with my critiqueness of my I should say my debating skills, man.
Right.
I really appreciate it because you bring a lot of points and you come with stats and statistics. That's what I like. Receipts. I love that, brother. You keep up that great work that you're doing, man.
You already know, man. I appreciate the support, man. Unfortunately, man, now people ask me why I've been doing this show for 4 years. They say, you're not going to change the world. Well, you don't have to change the world. All we as a black community need is a tipping point, which is around 10% of us to get on one accord and reestablish ourselves and renounce all of these bad lifestyles and habits that we have picked up in America, because that's not really who we are as black people. A lot of these bad habits and this poor behavior that you see in us, that's not who we are. We've adopted some of that stuff due to where we live. But unfortunately, African American women, in a lot of cases, not all of them, man, they found a way to even try to ignore statistics, facts, historical data, and the dictionary. A lot of our women in our community, if you try to point out to them how it's bad to have multiple children by multiple different men, they instead of saying, well, you have a point, they'll say something like, but what about the white girls? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes the information isn't going to capture the number of people you would like it to, but I always say this. There's not many people who are walking away from this panel. They may have cussed me out. They may have called me a name. They may have wished death upon me. But nonetheless, when they go home, this conversation that we had, they're going to be thinking about it. And the more they think about it, the more they're going to see that there were portions of this conversation that made sense and that they may need to rethink some of the ways that they're moving in life. Because here's what I say. If you want to know, everybody has their own religion. Everybody has their own beliefs. But if you really want to get factual about what is and isn't the right things to do in life, all you have to do is weigh and measure them by historically how the outcomes of those typically turn out. If you want to ask yourself, well, is it stupid to sell that pharmaceutical substance in the street? Well, ask yourself, most people who are standing out there on those corners slanging, how does life usually turn out for them? And I think that's how we should assess our decisions, because our decisions dictate whether or not we get the life ending that we want or the one that life chooses for us. You guys got anything else for me?
I mean, I can't say like I had an experience before. It was like I I can't say I had experience with female, but it didn't go as bad because, I left her like early.
Right.
So basically, I could say like you were saying, like 2-parent households is important, which is true because the girl I used to talk to, she was like just with her dad, but her mama, they spread it apart. So, sometimes she go see her mama, sometimes she go see her dad. But the thing was though, I guess, both of the parents, they had, criminal records. So the mama, she had attempted murder. Well, I can't really say that on
Right. I see what you're saying, though. That's crazy work right there.
And then the dad had, I think he had drug.
Right.
So I can't say like the dad used to abuse her as a kid, but hear me out though. So like I just don't like, how certain people say they got, they got family trauma. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool, we understand it, but it's like, I'm just the boyfriend, so it's like don't put that on me. Like, you get where I'm coming from?
He said, "Don't put me in that mess."
Like, yeah, because like at the end of the day, like I try to help, but if you're like you projecting, you know what I'm saying? You keep doing it. I feel like that's a way of manipulation. Like that's a way you trying to get over me. You see what I'm saying? So, I just left it up. Then she was very impatient. Cause like sometimes like see here's the thing, sometimes I like to test females like I'm not just no dude that just sit in the house all day. Like
right.
I'm a busy dude. So most of the time I be busy because I got school, cybersecurity. It got a lot of coding. But anyways, like most of the time I be busy because cybersecurity, like you active all the time. It's just like coding and all type of stuff. You have to take coding classes and everything.
Okay.
For that. So usually like you can tell, like I understand being clingy and all, but like sometimes it don't be clingy. Like you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes like people like will use you for your own good. Like you see what I'm saying? Like they'll take your kindness for weakness. But it's like when I get busy, I understand like you miss me and stuff, but it's just like sometimes, when you're busy, like you see people true colors and stuff. And a lot of people say like, cause sometimes like it's like I don't care what nobody say. Like sometimes it be hard, because like you don't like people play this good persona in the beginning. Sometimes, but sometimes you can see it. Like I could say like the stuff you don't see, it can hit you harder. But the stuff you can see, like but I feel like
I want to tell you this though. I get what you're saying, but I do want to make sure that you know this. I often encourage people because it goes back to what you were just now. Shout out to Gibbs with the $5 cash app rocking out with us. My brother over there with that big fly over here on the cash app. But listen, here's what I want to tell you. You're right, but I'll also say this: even though she had that trauma taking place in her family, it is still better that she was raised in a 2-parent household, except for the fact that her dad was abusing her. Here's what I tell men and women. Now, this goes back to what you were talking about when you were saying sometimes, it'd be some turbulence, you be dealing with these girls and then you start seeing stuff. If you want to avoid dealing with a lot of the things that we see in relationships on social media in the black community, you got a bitch fucked up and did, period. I said what I said and all of that ghetto shit. If you want to avoid that, here's what I advise men and women do. Be more open and more intentional about dating people who were raised in 2-parent households or bare minimum being raised with their father active in their life. There's studies behind this. Studies suggest that children being raised with their father and not their mother is almost as powerful as being raised in a 2-parent household, right? Because the dad's not going to sugarcoat nothing. He's not letting nothing up, right?
Because you're going to be prepared. Like,
yes. He didn't lie to you. He didn't keep telling you there was a Santa Claus. You know what I'm saying?
Because I used to work in the medical field. You know how like you say, how your parents say, when you be outside the world, you'll see what's going on. So 100%. I used to work in the medical field, the hospital and stuff, with nurses and stuff. So I'm, at the time I'm 22, I'm 23 now, but like, remind you, all these people are older than you. You know what I'm saying? So, when they say like, just because you're older don't mean like you ain't childish. Like, it's a lot of people that that's older than other people. They got childish mindset. So I started working. I just started seeing like, and it just started clicking in for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, basically, it started clicking in.
But that's how you save yourself a lot of trouble, brother. Listen, if a person I'm not saying be prejudiced, and I'm not saying, because you could see somebody who had it really, really tough and they rose above the ashes and she put herself through school. She did this. She's an amazing woman. But statistically, that's far and few in between. If you want to increase your odds of having a woman who's already equipped to be a good woman to you, this woman is already polite, this woman is already feminine, it increases the odds if that woman was raised in a two-parent household or she had her dad in her life. Because if she wasn't raised with her dad in her life, a man's job is to govern a woman. That is a man's job. We are to govern the world, right? But now, if she wasn't raised with her father, when you say something like, "Hey, babe, I'm not real cool with you dressing like that," that type of instruction and governing will be so foreign to her ears. You can't tell me, and then you ain't my daddy. But if she's had a dad in her life, what you just said to her won't send shockwaves through her eardrum because she's heard her dad say that same stuff to her before.
Like I say, like my dad, like he had gave me the speeches basically saying like the father, he always gonna be the villain, you know, in the household.
You better know that. You better know that.
It was saying like when you have kids, you know, you gotta tame them, you know, you gotta take care of them and tell them what's right from wrong and all types of stuff. So basically, like saying like, you know, they ain't gonna want to hear what what the father say, but you know, it's like, you know, it's true.
Listen, give me a second, Static. I'm gonna see what you got for me if you got anything for me. But one more thing that I want to say to you, Twan. Are you open to dating a woman who already has children?
No.
He said no.
Yeah, cause my dad, my mama, they were basically like saying like, you get with a female chick, you gotta know what come with it, cause you don't know if the baby daddy like, cause you know some of that toxic stuff, like the baby dad can be crazy, like some men they think what they they
right,
use
right.
part, so he could be jealous, like you know what I'm saying, like envious, and then something end up happening, like you know what I'm saying, and then the female like to play victim sometimes. They be like, I don't know what's going on, but the whole time they playing both sides.
Yeah, been sleeping with the baby daddy on the low and things like that. The reason I asked you that is because of this. And so since you're not open to dating a woman with kids, even when you have your kids, I'm going to tell you something to watch out for that can become a cancer to a marriage. Before you even see it good, never let a woman be siding with the children over you. She is supposed to be back. If you say, "Hey, turn that damn TV off, it's time to go upstairs," she's supposed to back you. You know why? Because if she doesn't back you, you will start to look like the bad cop and she will start to look like the good cop in the eyes of the children. And to be honest, that'll be bad.
So, yes, sir.
All right, you guys, I'm about to get up out of here. You got anything for me, Static? Static gone. All right, I appreciate you rocking out with us, Twan, man. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, man.
All right, yes, sir. Appreciate it. Talk to you too.
You know it. Very respectful young gentleman. See, we need more men like him in the black community. We don't need no white hands. We need more brothers like Twan. But see what I tell you guys? He was raised in a two-parent household. So look at it like this. Look at him, a product of a two-parent household, versus the white ends that are the product of the single mother household. Which one of those would we be better off having more of in our community?
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Lawless over here rocking out with us. Lawless said, "It's sad. Our women really judge men off of how much intimacy and attention from other women he can get. Not if he's real or have the best interests." Yeah, man, I don't know how they were tricked into that. I'll never understand that. You would think that a person, when it comes time to date long term, you would think that a person would look at the candidates who look like they're going to be reliable to be able to see you through to the end of life. Not whether or not a girl, he fine. I think we just have to chalk this up to the psychological damage and dysfunction inside of a mass number of our women. Because a lot of the moves that they make don't even meet the bar of logic. It's not something that you thought about and said, no, this makes better sense to make this move. No, their decisions reek of, hey, I didn't even think about this before I did it. I just did it. My girl said it don't make sense. Too safe. My people over here on Instagram been rocking out with us for a minute. Listen, Andrew said women want men who have money, not to build a future, but to help pay their artificial looks, wigs, weave, nails, clothes. That's crazy. Did you not know that we're going to get older one day? And never mind. And I'll say this. If women don't have the foresight to see a lot of these things that we're speaking on, you could at least be smart enough to listen to the men who have the foresight to tell you what your future is going to resemble if you don't snap out of it soon. You crazy? Let me see what we were playing.
Now I can blow up on TikTok if they was consistent.
This is the point that I was going to get to everybody.
I am a spade.
Business is very hard. It's very, 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 very hard. Business is very hard. And it didn't start getting easier to me until I start taking some of the stress of wearing multiple hats up off of me and pay other people to do that. Now I'm waking up and stuff is getting posted. Now I'm waking up and stuff has already been edited while I was asleep. These households and these life outcomes that you guys want, some of you want to pick a white fence, some of you want to live the American dream. Since roles have been compromised and women are acting masculine, women are empowered by the workforce. Listen, did you know that if you humble yourself, I don't suggest it. If maybe he's got a disability from the military or something like that. But what's wrong with this?
I am a stay-at-home dad. In our household, the women are the breadwinners. That's the way we run things here. That's the way we like it to be structured.
Nick is a trophy husband, if you will.
We prefer it that way, honestly.
He stays at home and makes sure meals are prepared and everything. And his two women, they are the working women and they have very good jobs. Listen, ladies, can you imagine how dope it would be? Like me, I go through things because I try to eat healthy. It's a grave inconvenience for me. You know what I often think about? If I had a woman, I wouldn't have to worry about my grocery shopping. I wouldn't have to worry about preparing my meals. And I could be sitting here building a future for us. That's a power team. That's a power team. All of the roles that need to be filled, all of the assignments that need to be handled, they're getting handled. So ladies, if you think you're all that because of where you work at and things of that nature, hey, and you still want to pick a white fence, the American dream, maybe you should consider allowing a man to be the portion of the affairs at home. All dynamics will be filled. I don't encourage any men to be like that, you know what I mean, unless you have disability or something like that to where you can't go out and work. But ladies, a lot has changed, which is why you think you're all that. You've been empowered to work. So a lot of our roles have had surgery performed on them. So if we live in a society today where some roles have been compromised, then, and you guys are saying men and women are equal and things like that, well, if you don't want to be single for the rest of your life, but you've been chronically single for years, except for being someone's jump off every couple times a month and things like that, be more open-minded to a person who doesn't have an amazing job. Because even if he doesn't have an amazing job or something like that, a lot of things that you hate doing when you come home can already be done when you get home. But I know your pride's too much for that. I know.
I pride myself on being a breadwinner, and Jenny's right there with me.
Let me just say this right quick. If you look at a chessboard, the king doesn't really move much, because he just moves a square at a time. Meanwhile, the queen, she's all over the board, okay? The queen's got all the power. The king just kind of holds court. Now, please, continue.
No, all I wanted to say is I am a manager at an organization company. Jen is management in an IT company. Jen and I make more than enough money by ourselves.
I'm just saying it's an alternative because a lot of you are going to pass on in your grave alone. You won't have anybody. You guys don't want good masculine men. It's your only other alternative. You don't want to be single. It's your only alternative. I respect my Uncle Sonny, right? I don't think Uncle Sonny had any skills or anything. A lot of you like these men who are felons and things like that and constantly let them stay home. At least you get down on the regular without having to search for somebody. At least he could beat him, perform some duties. It's not ideal. It's not what I would suggest for my kid. My kid wouldn't do it. But I think it's better than being single. I know it's being better than single. 2 of my uncles, by the way, who actually had the same names, both of them stayed at home and my aunties worked. And these were amazing men. I believe men should be ambitious and driven, and they should have something inside of them to get them out there to work a living. But if you're a driven and empowered woman, hey, sweetie, if you're a driven and empowered woman, hey, if you acting all masculine and accomplished, hey, what's the big problem? I don't know. I don't know. But for those of you women who haven't taken on those masculine traits, you're still feminine, this and that, okay, maybe that's not good for you. I'm talking about the women who are, they resemble men. They got upper level management positions and they kind of got masculine tendencies. Well, you shouldn't have a problem. Just get the job done. We are about to get out of here, people. I appreciate you guys rocking out with us. Let me see something. Did we not even get one Cash App today? That's crazy work. Let me see something here. Let me see something. I know we did better than that. I know we did better. Let me see. Did we not get one Cash App for the hottest show online? I'll make sure I don't forget none of my people. Shout out to my brother Kendricks up in this situation, rocking out with us with the $15 Cash App. And my brother Gibbs over here. You already know the business. All right, people, we are about to get out of here. We weren't even supposed to have a show today. You guys are about to make me do a show and have to get up here off of here and chop up clips and blah, 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 blah. But nonetheless, we're out of here. And we out of here. I appreciate you guys rocking out with us. TikTok, Instagram. We are, if nothing else, out of here.